What's up, everybody? How's it going?
Hey.
Hopefully everybody enjoyed seeing Nelly just going crazy on that pup cup.
Pup cup? Where do you buy a pup cup?
Well, I mean, like ice cream places have like...
Oh, like any ice cream.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's just like any ice cream place, but you can order, it's like $1. And we were getting ice cream, and they're like, oh, you can get a pup cup for $1. And it's just like a little bit of ice cream that's like not going to give her, you know, like a tummy ache or anything like that. And it's just really funny. I just like that. I shot for a while, hoping to get her to like look up so you can see it like all over her face. And it only really happens for a second.
well, yeah. I mean, she was.
It was good.
She was fixated on.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. So I mean, that's fun. It's fun, you know. Like she doesn't appear very often on the stream, so I just feel like I can throw some videos up there and give people.
Well, yeah, I mean, it seems that you make good use of the camera on your phone more so than I do. I mean,
yeah.
In terms of video functionality, like that is something I basically almost never do on my phone.
Oh, I use it all the time. Especially, I just upgraded my phone to. I went from a iPhone 11 to a 14, and you know, like I got like $800 trade-in for my old phone, and I upgraded to this, and they're like, you know, for $100, you can go. It was like $100 more to go from the 128 to the 256. So I was like, I'm just gonna get the 256, and I was coming from a 64 gig, so now I can just, you know, I probably never have to clean out the fridge, I guess, on the on my phone ever. So, but yeah, I mean, one of the craziest things about this phone, I sent you some videos before, is the like the cinematic video mode.
Yeah, where it has like a really shallow depth of field or something.
Yeah, I think it's all like AI based. Like it uses different like the different cameras to, like, you know, be able to adjust that depth of field. And
Right,
like
right.
with photos, if you use that same thing, then you can like it gives you like two versions, one with a depth of field and one without. But it looks like crazy good. So I mean, that's I make good use. You know, like the thumbnail. Like I shot the thumbnail. Like I usually shoot the thumbnail with my phone, anyways.
Yeah.
But
I do too. It's just that I have a nowhere near as good of a camera phone. I have a Motorola.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just think it's fun. It's fun to like shoot that stuff, and it's crazy how good they are now. I mean, I see some people are saying, you know, the camera upgrade on the 14 Pro is insane. The quality increase over my 11 Pro cannot be overstated. Yeah, I mean, I used to upgrade every other year, but then this is the first time I went 3 years, and I'm like, you know, I feel as though I'm pretty good just like waiting like 3 to 4 years now.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I got mine in early 2020.
Well, the thing is like, yes,
February.
I mean, you can upgrade for free. That's the thing, you know, you pay like a little bit, like that, the amount that you pay for the phone gets like split out across all your bills.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like $10 or something like that additional a month till it's paid off. And, you know, like if I had not upgraded like right away, then I wouldn't have got that $800 trade-in for it. Like $800 trade-in is crazy, I think.
That is a lot. But I mean, but you're you know, you're talking high-end phones, and you know, no one's giving it for no one's doing that for Android phones.
Yeah, well, I mean
not
maybe.
that Android phones can't be high end, but
I don't know.
With Motorola was because I had a Pixel, and the battery just went to crap. Like the last several months I was using it, and I was just like, okay, well then I'm going to prioritize battery life on my next phone. And you know, the phone is fine. Like, I mean, it's clearly not as high end as, you know, more robust Android phones or iPhones, obviously, but like I don't care. I don't care about like my phone being amazing or anything, because like even like a mid-range Android phone like performs well enough for what I do on my phone, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Like I just have no extreme interest in like phone upgrades. Like the only reason I even got this one in 2020 was just because my battery just couldn't come anywhere close to lasting the day.
Right. Yeah, I mean that's
that's totally coming from a person who probably doesn't use his phone as much as most people do, but I do use it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like if I wasn't getting this kind of like deal, like upgrading, like I would have gone like another couple of years probably with my 11.
Yeah.
But it seemed too good of a deal to like really pass up, I guess. And I don't know if that's something that's going to continue, or if it's just like maybe they felt like the 14 was like it's as like a stopgap, I guess, where they feel like it's maybe people are just not excited about phones anymore. I think that most people are not like excited about them anymore.
I'm not.
Yeah. But I mean, I think just like the general consensus these days is people are not excited about it. So like it's becoming a harder and harder sell. Like I know that like Apple was going to like up their production unit, like the amount that they make every year. And I think that they decided against it. Because just like the interest it just isn't there, I guess. But
well, why don't you go ahead and start your game, and I'll catch up on. There was, before the stream started, there was a $5 super chat from Container 7.
Thank you.
Who, appropriate to his name, says that he was capturing a VHS tape of the 1997 Super Bowl. It includes the MTV Beavis and Butthead halftime show and trailers for The Fifth Element, Men in Black, and Lost World.
Oh, wow.
And there was
Who do
also...
I start with? Do you know? Who do I start with? I feel like I start with...
Blizzard Man.
Blizzard Man.
That's it. That's who I start with on this one. I don't know the full rotation in this one, but I know I always start with Blizzard Man because I'm pretty sure he's really easy. But then there was also a $2 super chat from Kelly saying exploiting paw tips with the pre-streams.
Yeah,
Nelly videos have become a regular staple of Coury pre-streams.
I always have. It takes me a little bit of time at the beginning. Every time I play one of these, it takes me a little bit of time to like get my footing.
Well, and I guess starting at an ice level is maybe not. In some ways, not the best way to do that. I mean, I think this is by far the easiest.
Yeah.
NES Mega.
I mean, that's what I've heard. I don't remember very much about it at all. And I mean,
I remember a long time ago on the Backloggery stream, Drum played this while pretty heavily inebriated.
He had no problem finishing it.
He ended up like beating all of the bosses without using their weaknesses.
Oh, okay.
Like mostly because he just thought it was funny how well he was doing under the circumstances. And he just was like, he like forgot to even try to use a weapon on one of the bosses, if I remember correctly. He's like, oh, well, I'll just see if I can keep doing this.
Well, that might be a lot of practice.
499 super chat from
Jepacondile.
Jepacondile?
Yeah. I mean, you got to forgive us.
Thank you.
We're going to do our best with it.
Saying, just curious if you prefer any applicable console to be horizontal or vertical. Finally got an OEM stand for my fat PS2, and I'm in love. You know what?
Vertical stand.
Huh?
A vertical stand. You know, I just want to say, like, on the terms of stand, like in terms of stands for PS2, you know, when we were doing that Klonoa video, like John sent me.
I know what you're gonna say.
What?
I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah, I mean, like he shot
John
some B-roll and he has a horizontal stand. I'm kind of like, you know, I kind of want to get one now.
Was it only sold in Japan?
I don't think so. But as far as I know, it's kind of like expensive now.
I was kind of surprised, but he had to have it because it's like it's like part of like the original sort of way that they presented the look of the system, I think, when they like unveiled it. Yeah,
it
it's such a silly thing,
more
though,
visually interesting, I think.
Yeah, it's cool. It's definitely cool. I have never owned an official vertical stand for the PS2, but during its generation, the PS2 was it kind of flipped between horizontal and vertical, just kind of depending on the space that I had. Because it was, that was college for me. Yeah. So my space was changing, every year, or really twice a year, because then I go back home. Right now, in terms of systems that I have vertical, I have the Series X vertical, and I actually have my Xbox 360e vertical right now. I like the Wii vertical, but just because of space, where I have my Wii systems right now, it makes more sense for them to be horizontal. But for probably most of the time that I've owned Wii, it was vertical. Wii U kind of went back and forth. I actually don't really like how the PS5 looks vertical. I mean, I have some issues with how it looks horizontal too. But I don't like how it looks vertical.
I hate how it looks vertical too.
And the curve on the plastic of it, to me, kind of almost looks like when the light hits a certain way, like you can almost see kind of like a dot in the middle, and it just doesn't seem like it's this really perfectly smooth curve. It's kind of distracting and annoying. So I prefer horizontal. And I have it like on this glass monitor stand on its little horizontal stand. And wait, why are you in?
I don't know. I hit continue. I thought it was taking me back to the select stage, but I guess you can return the stages. Is there like hidden things like that?
Weird that it would do that after beating the level.
Yeah.
You did beat it, right? You didn't die.
Oh yeah.
Huh? But anyway, I don't like how that looks for the PS5. Overall, though, I think like PS2, I prefer horizontal. In terms of systems that I dislike horizontal, though, I kind of dislike the Series X horizontal. I've never seriously had it horizontal, but I don't like it because of how the base of it that's intended to be the base when you put it vertical, like that base, I just don't like how it looks when it's on its side. Like it, I don't know.
I guess I can.
Yeah, have you ever seen Sakurai's horizontal Wii? Like,
no.
I didn't watch the. Actually, I only just watched very recently. I watched the video
some of the stuff on his channel
that he did, but I've not actually watched any of his other videos. But I've seen like some screenshots from them before.
Yeah.
And, like there's one where he like shows his gaming setup, and like his Wii dock is like laying on its back, which is something I never considered before.
His Wii dock?
I'm sorry, Switch dock.
Oh, I see. Oh, so it's like interesting. Like I didn't even realize that was something that you could do.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's probably nothing wrong with doing that. I mean, there are like I think kind of some intake vents on the back of the dock that roughly align with the intake vents on the bottom of the console.
Yeah.
But
I mean, how does it look?
I suspect Sakurai is smart enough to consider those things, so probably it's fine.
Yeah.
There was also there was a $10 super chat from Mega X6.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. After having an atypical mole removed Friday and dealing with stitches for the first time, glad to see Mega Man 6 stream. Also, I just completed Phantasy Star 3 an hour ago. Now I'm to 4. Well, hopefully that spot heals up quickly enough. I have to confess, for some reason, I was interpreting your comment at first as being a lawn problem, not a skin problem. like I was like, why would this mole be atypical? Like, I mean, what was so strange about what this mole was doing in your yard? But just complete Phantasy Star 3, man. I need to get back to 2. I mean, I got a small start on 2 a few years ago. I really need to get back to it. But I've always wondered if Mega X6's name is more in reference to this game, or I mean, I've always assumed it was in reference to X6 more, which I don't like that going very much.
Which one?
But this one I love. Like, I love these later NES Mega Mans because they're, I think, just as fun as the harder ones, but they're a little more comfy to just like play just for fun.
Oh yeah, than like the X games, because the X games have like so many things to collect.
That's
and stuff.
True, but I mean, even compared to like Mega Man 1 through 3. Or even 4. Like, I think 5 and 6 both are even easier than 4. And they're just like... They're just a good, not terribly stressful time. But you still, gotta play with some skill. But like, if you're just not feeling, just not really feeling like a massive challenge, then, Have you tried the weapon?
I just did.
Yeah,
it doesn't work.
Because I think this is his weakness. Maybe?
It doesn't appear to be, but I feel like...
Okay, well then he's probably the last one in the cycle. He's probably weak. Lizard Man is probably weak to him.
Yeah.
I know there's at least one case in Mega Man. I can't remember which one it is, but I think there's at least one case where fire is weak to ice. That might be 1. Is that Mega Man 1?
Yes. I feel like I can... The damage seems like low enough in this game that I bet you can tank like every... I understand that. Almost dying. There is also another $10 from Tinder Brew.
Yeah! Thank you.
Saying, I'm glad to be able to check out the live stream tonight, guys. Also, before you said it, I was going to compliment Coury on the Phantom Isle guest appearances. Guest appearance on Digital Foundry. Great episode. Well, thank you. Thanks. It was a lot of fun, and it was definitely kind of awkward at first because that was the first time in a very long time that I was in front of a green screen.
Mm-hmm. Same for me for the Final Fantasy 13 episode that we'll hopefully be wrapping up in roughly the next week, hopefully. So that'll probably hit DF Retro for the DF supporter program, the Patreon program.
And you shot green screen. How did it go, like shooting green screen for that?
Horribly. I mean, I kind of had to relearn some things because it's been so long, right?
Yeah.
So you know how like the anti-glare filter on glasses like tends to, when you're looking at someone who has that on their glasses, like the glint kind of looks greenish?
Yeah.
Well,
so is there no
end to
really quick? Is there no end to like I can use the power suit like infinitely? you remember?
I guess so, but it's got a very short range.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, so, the glint on the glasses is greenish.
Right.
And I did not position my lights very smartly, and, I animate while I talk.
Mm-hmm.
And, the key ended up being amazing. Like, I'm never doing this again because it just takes up too much space. But I actually recorded it in ProRes.
Oh, okay.
Each segment I had to dump it off of that CF mini card or whatever it's called.
Yeah. So you gotta bring your whole camera down to do it.
It's this fancy card right here. What's it called? CF?
Yeah, it's like CF Express or something
Express. Like that. So they're bringing CF back. But I had to empty that card because it could only hold maybe 22 minutes or something like that of ProRes.
It's kind of crazy actually.
Yeah,
and that's like a 128 gig card. Yeah, but
I was like, well, I thought I'd try it because I thought it would make the keying a lot better.
Yeah, and it did probably.
Well, it looks amazing. I've never gotten as good of a key as I have. But the thing was, I had to draw a mask inside my face around my glasses.
Yeah,
and I had to keyframe it as I moved my face around. I had to keyframe this mask because if I move it too far, my head too far, then whoops, you see the green screen behind it. So I had to have that mask actually follow. And I tried to figure out an easy way to track it in Adobe After Effects or something like that.
Yeah. Well, you can track it in Premiere.
I spent hours trying to figure out a more efficient way to track the glint on the glasses or to get rid of it in some other way. And I was just I have to stop wasting time trying to figure this out because
that's the worst feeling in the world, I think. It's when you're trying to get something done and you end up spending all day on it. Or just hours and you're there's so much I can be doing right now.
I know. So I was just I just gotta buckle down and just do the manual keyframe. So I did it.
And it's funny because
it took a really long time, but
you probably wanted to avoid doing that.
So anyway, I actually got these light stands that mount on the ceiling, and I haven't actually properly recorded another green screen segment after moving the lights, but because I don't need to for this.
Oh, so did you
so
go into
their months before I need to try it out again? But I just wanted because I just want it to be easy. So I got I got some new lights and mounted them more to the sides and further away. And I had my camera out while trying to figure out the position and everything. And I think it should be pretty good. So when people see me on camera in the Final Fantasy 13 DF Retro, I want everyone to know to look at that glint on my glasses and think about how stubborn I was manually masking it, keyframing that mask, moving it by hand, rather than just re-recording, which probably would have taken a lot less time. Anyway, I got sidetracked on that. Replying to that one, there was $4.99 from However.
Oh, thank you. However.
Saying, what's the story, Morning Glory? What's the tale, Nightingale, of why Nintendo published this game for Capcom in the U.S.? I saw someone commenting on that, mentioning that in the chat earlier. And, I feel like that's something I knew about at one point and kind of forgot. Yeah, I don't know. I guess Nintendo thought there was a market for it.
Well, I think that they probably wanted to like have something coming out on the NES because it was still being sold. And they wanted.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is the best era of the NES. I mean, I love the 80s era too, but like 90s and onward, like that's where all of like some of the expensive games are, and of course some expensive games don't have to do with quality, but there are a lot of NES games that up until recently were maybe more in the $30 to $50-ish range, expensive for NES, but still obtainable.
Yeah.
And they were all these lower print games, but man, like
Beta
developers
parts.
really had the NES figured out at this time. They were still making such good games for the system. Like they didn't stop making good games for the NES just because there were 16-bit systems out. I mean, I love the 90s NES era.
Yeah.
When I was hanging out with Pepe Solo, he was talking about how the NES was popular later and for longer in Chile.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of those later NES games shipped to South America in relatively larger quantities. I don't know if actually larger or just like relative to the market size, but like I think a lot of like the new old stock games may have come from there. And also he said like he had Little Samson from when he was a kid because like it was I guess decently stocked there at the time that it released, and he actually funded his first trip to Japan by selling his Little Samson.
Oh, that's like cool and sad at the same time.
Yeah, but I mean, there is something, I guess, kind of cool about that. Like, like that.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of, that's like an extra story to your copy of the game, I guess, even if you don't have it anymore.
Right.
Kind of like how I, semi-jokingly talked about how that Goemon soundtrack I have, it's, I don't know what it's worth now, but like if you found the right buyer, it was worth over $1,000 years ago. And if
it came down to it,
like maybe I should sell that and go to Japan. Like that, I kind of felt like that would make a cool story in a way to like think about like this item is like almost being like your ticket on this trip of a lifetime, right?
Yeah.
But let's see. There was a $20 super chat from Robert Hernandez. Thank you. Wow. Saying, belated congrats on the memory card episode, Coury. I truly enjoyed the detail and effort. Also, thanks for playing Mega Man 6. My 6-year-old will be thrilled that you're playing something age appropriate on the stream this week. I mean, Mega Man 6, perfect for a 6-year-old. What can I say?
When he turns 7, I'll play Mega Man 7. Okay.
Yeah. Speaking of age, Sandy's going to turn 5 this week.
Wow. Dang.
And there was also there was also another $20 super chat from Eric Benoit, aka EB Chill 2. Thank you. Finally got a terabyte drive installed on my PS2. Any recommendations unique to the system? Oh my gosh.
I mean, there's a lot. So I've been
there's so much
like copying a lot of stuff to my. I put a terabyte in mine also like a while back, And it takes a while to like get everything like put on it. And I think I have like 130 gigs left. Oh, come on. I thought I had another light.
Anything of note that you put on there recently?
Well, I recommend putting Virtua Cop Rebirth on there.
Oh yeah.
If you have it, you know, I didn't realize
and CRT.
What's that?
And a CRT and a gun con.
Right, exactly. I didn't realize that game had not been like dumped when I bought it. You know, because I wanted to try it out and I couldn't find it anywhere, and then it turns out that it wasn't dumped. So that was surprising. So it might be tough to find it.
Yeah. Henry Clark says he's building a new PS2 drive right now, so maybe he's got some.
Yeah, I mean,
some suggestions too.
I would put all the Sega Ages 2500 collection on there.
Mm-hmm.
They're all of them except for Dragon Force, I think, are CDs, so it doesn't take up very much space.
Yeah. And I think it's always good to maybe put some things on there with some unusual video modes just for fun, like like the Tri-Ace games tend to have some stuff like that. Like Radiata Stories has 480p and widescreen running at 60 frames per second, which is pretty crazy. They also did that experimental 1080i mode and Valkyrie Profile 2. That's always cool.
But I would definitely put all like if you're playing on a CRT, I'd put like every gun game you can put on there.
Oh yeah. Ninja Assault,
all the RPGs. Obviously, put every game that you own like legit on there.
Yeah, of course.
What are you using to copy the games over to it? Because I've been using what is it, like the HDL game installer, and it used to work really good, and then suddenly I had to start deleting the the save file that it creates on your hard drive or drive, or else it wouldn't connect to my network, and only by deleting that does it finally connect to my network correctly. It's weird. The PS2 stuff, I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff out there on it. I wish that there was I wish there was easier ways to get the OPL, the artwork and everything over to it. And I'm annoyed that the new version of OPL, you can't, if you have no artwork, it just shows a blank box, and you can't turn off that blank box. It annoys me to no end. I just want to have a list. I don't need to have artwork. Or if you're gonna do artwork, make it easier to do it. But if you can't have artwork, I feel like you should be able to turn off the the blank generic artwork.
Wow, Henry Clark says PS2 is one of my least favorite consoles. I'm looking for better games to load. See, PS2 is a system for me that, my appreciation has only grown more in relatively recent years, because I considered the GameCube my main console during that generation. And because I kept up with the GameCube so well, and because there are relatively fewer games for the GameCube has been comparatively boring for me in the years after its generation. Whereas the PS2, there was so much, and I skipped so much, that it's just been a joy to... I feel like, in terms of just discovering new to me games, PS2 is one of the top. And I mean, I recommend if you like horror games, I mean, any PS2 horror game is so fun to, try out on PS2. Just because, like, I always like to say, I feel like the texture of PS2 graphics is, like, the ideal for horror. Like, it's just realistic enough, but also kind of surreal and dirty and grimy in a way that just like really lends itself to horror. Like I love the look of horror on PS2, especially the Fatal Frame games. The Fatal Frame games are excellent. I really, really like that series so far.
If
I
I
need to play the third one.
if I finish this like fairly early in the stream, I'll turn on the PS2 and like
just play
what I
some
have on
random
there.
Stuff. Getting back to the super chats, there was another $10 from Tinderbrew.
Thank you.
Saying Grand Theft Auto 5 would have never sold 170 million units without Body Harvest for the N64. Sorry, just a random thought. Well, I mean, you're not wrong. That was Body Harvest was very much sort of the proving grounds, I think, for some of their concepts. I mean, it's crazy to think of how old Grand Theft Auto 5 is. And I've never played it.
I just got the PS5 version because it was $17 on Amazon.
Huh?
I just got the PS5 version because it was $17.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, I mean, I really liked Red Dead Redemption 1. I've still not played 2, other than I've played like a few minutes just to take a look at it, but I've not played through it. And I liked it, but the Rockstar Ubisoft open world formula is not something I go for a whole lot these days. It'll be interesting to see how much I like Red Dead Redemption 2 when I finally get around playing it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's really good, but all the stuff I've heard about it make it seem like it's a lot of work, and it's like a lot of work that I'm not sure that I want to do.
Well, we'll see how I feel about it when I get around. Like
not fun work. I mean, there's a lot.
Don't you trim your beard and stuff in it?
Yeah, I mean that doesn't sound like
wipe off your knife.
Yeah.
I know very little about it, though, to tell you the truth. Like in GTA, just like the atmosphere of those games has never really appealed to me, and I remember, playing a little GTA 3 and maybe Vice City or San Andreas on a friend's PS2. Maybe I don't really remember. And it just seemed that people were always playing those games for, like, I just want to get a bunch of cops following me and seeing what crazy stuff happens.
Well, I mean, that was certainly the thing that excited me about. It was fun when it first came out, for sure.
Right. Well, that's still what you love about driving.
Yeah, but I mean, the first driver. I mean, I just like the extra mode in driver,
even though the story is there, I was somehow kind of turned off from the series just almost by virtue of the fact that the people don't seem interested in playing that mode. People always seem interested in.
Oh no, I feel like the story is probably really
stuff.
good.
And the idea of sandboxes, there has to I do like sort of. In a lot of ways, I treat something like Mario 64 like a sandbox, but there needs to be something more to it. I don't know, just something about GTA has never appealed to me. The closest thing to GTA that I really loved was Sleeping Dogs. That's my GTA. That's a really good game. But also, there was a 499 from Madonna Sheehy.
Oh, thank you.
Saying, happy birthday, Sandy. My birthday is on Tuesday. Are we twins? Thanks for the stream, guys. Get that Goodle. What was the Goodle from?
The Goodles, what is that from? Is that from
Was it
Was it
from
Billy-
Rabbit Mondu? Rabbit Mondu?
Wait, I thought it was from Billy Hatcher.
Was it that recent? I don't quite remember what it was from, but I remember it. But also, you are
come on,
birthday
jeez.
twins. Sandy's birthday is the 18th.
My first
On
game
Tuesday.
over there. Let's do a
So,
different stage.
so there you go. Oh yeah, it was Knights too. That's right. The
Okay.
doodle was in Knights too.
I mean, I guess that explains why it was like not very memorable. Windman. You know, I'm kind of amazed.
I
they
think
never
we've
had
made
a
Madonna
Spoon
Sheedy's
Man.
night by letting her know that she shares a birthday with Sandy. This is a relevant question. A £2 super chat from Engine UK. Thank you.
Thank you.
Saying, how's the Steam Deck going? Any games to recommend?
So I got yeah, I mean, I almost played Freedom Planet 2 on the Steam Deck tonight. I got my my official dock today, and they've added the standardized like video output, which is kind of cool because it's there's a lot of different stuff, like a lot of options. You can just you can have the main, just have it run at 120 hertz, if you wanted to.
Okay. Can you do VRR with it?
So
I mean, not that you have the setup for it,
right? But you can actually. 'Cause what makes this the official dock more relevant is that it has a DisplayPort output as well as an HDMI, and you can do 2 monitors if you want to with it, or you can do I guess the DisplayPort can do VRR.
I kind of hate DisplayPort, mostly because it's not on TVs.
Well, I just have a DisplayPort to HDMI cable.
But they suck. Half of the DisplayPort to HDMI adapters I've ever used,
I just got
have some kind of weird problem. They just don't work well.
Oh, I mean, I just got a cable. It's just all in one. It's not a adapter or anything like that.
I have had bad luck with adapting DisplayPort to HDMI.
Oh, I mean, I
wish I wish that graphics cards would have more than one HDMI port. It's not what good is it for other than connecting to a monitor? If you're not connecting to a monitor, then it's just an extra hassle.
But that's the same. That's what HDMI is. What good is HDMI?
And here's the other thing: I've had trouble on my monitors with being able to. It's been a big pain in the butt getting my computer monitors to not be 75 hertz. The option just isn't even there. Depending on the configuration. And I found the easiest way to get them to actually be 60 hertz, so that, I don't even understand why anyone would want 75 hertz, because you're going to be doing video stuff on your computer, and that's not going to sync up to 75 hertz.
It's for games.
So actually getting my monitors to operate at 60 hertz.
I think the 75,
it's been a pain in the butt, and DisplayPort has, I think, exacerbated that problem.
I mean, perhaps, I don't know. It's just another.
People are oh yeah, DisplayPort, it's a better standard HDMI. Oh, such low bandwidth. It's okay, well, get back to me when they start putting it on TVs, and then I might care.
Well, they're not going to change that now. I mean, it's not. I don't think that they're going to. HDMI is around, as a standard on TVs for.
I know, but if they start putting DisplayPorts on TVs, then I might care about DisplayPort. But they don't, so DisplayPort is a pain in the butt.
Well, it's on monitors, but.
Well, yeah, it's on monitors, and I don't care that much about monitors. Like I use them, but I don't like care about them.
You know what? I think you might just be overthinking it. It's just a cable that you don't have to use. Right?
I have had
you don't have to use it.
There's been problems with
it doesn't matter that it's like it's not conducive to your lifestyle. It's okay.
It is not conducive to my lifestyle.
Yeah, and I think that's okay. And
I don't think it's conducive to most people. I don't think that
there's anything wrong with it. It just doesn't fit for your lifestyle.
Well, if it was adopted by like capture cards and TVs, then it'd be fine.
Yeah,
but like something always seems to.
I'm sure that there's people
gets lost in the signal, like going over these cables. Like, oh, for some reason I can't use this resolution with this adapter. I bought not that many months ago. I bought a DisplayPort to HDMI, and I couldn't even, like, for some reason I couldn't even get 1440p on my monitor when using that. Or something might happen where like the RGB range is incorrect on I've had to buy many different types of DisplayPort adapters over the years. And it just like at least half of the time, there's like some hassle about it.
Okay, I mean, I've never really run into any problems with it, but it's not like...
I mean, that's what most people say. Most people say, like, oh, HDMI, so many problems. DisplayPort, never had a problem. Well, yeah, but you can connect it to so fewer things, and when you try to connect it to things
all the people are just trying to connect.
I have all kinds of problems.
They just care about connecting to their computer monitor, which is like...
And I don't!
Okay, so, I mean, it's okay. It's like...
But don't you mostly deal with HDMI
I don't think it's, like, worth,
too?
like... You know... Like... expending the energy to be exasperated over it.
Well, especially if it's not something that, like, over it normally. I'm just, I'm finally venting my frustration. I don't talk about this. So it's a pain in the butt. I don't understand the hype.
Is it something that, like, I mean, I've never met anybody that's been like passionate about it.
No, I've never heard of anyone say anything bad about DisplayPort, and I don't understand why it's so great if the only thing you can do with it is connect it to computer monitors or adapt it with shoddy adapters.
I don't know.
Let's see, now, Brother Ken here says DisplayPort is unlicensed, HDMI is. Cost savings is to use as few HDMI ports as possible. I agree. So why his TVs and capture cards and stuff like that not gone over to DisplayPort? I'm not saying DisplayPort is inherently flawed. I'm just saying we live in an HDMI world.
So I have this limited run shirt. I wonder if this sun is inspired by this sun.
Oh, I mean, it's a very classic, like retro style sun, but it does look very similar to that. Yeah. I'm just saying that just like analog video is, kind of a pain in the butt in an HDMI world, DisplayPort is also a pain in the butt in an HDMI world. But I feel like we have better and more interesting solutions to the analog problem.
Yeah, I wonder if like handshaking is easier. Because that's like the eternal problem for me is like this handshaking of like HDMI with like my different displays I have hooked up, and like there's nothing I hate more is like suddenly like everything's working and it's like, all right, I'm getting work done, moving along, and then suddenly like something doesn't work and I don't know why, and it's just like, oh, I gotta reset this splitter or something. Like it's just because it like didn't handshake correctly.
Mr. D says, I heard one guy talk some trash about DisplayPort. I think it was like 2 minutes ago.
Am I like pushing my luck here? Oh, there we go. I did it. I don't even know if that's the way I'm supposed to go. Oh,
There's like there's a few like secret areas in Mega Man 6.
Thanks, Proto Man. I thought that maybe I was trying to go a direction that I wasn't supposed to go there. Like maybe I was trying to go in the exit. You know? Just gonna run right into it. Like, so what did this thing do? It looks like I've seen this item before. Let's see, what does it do? It doesn't tell me.
I don't remember what all of the fancy things in this one are.
The F blast. It's like the fart blast, right?
Kevin Zimmerman says, I have an old GTX 1080 Ti with 3 HDMI and 3 DisplayPort. That should be standard. I agree, and I wish my GTX 1080 Ti was your GTX 1080 Ti, because mine has, I think, 1 HDMI, 1 DVI, and 3 DisplayPort or something like that. And I'm quite convinced my life would be easier and more of my monitors would be working at 60 hertz and not 75 hertz if that was the GTX 1080 Ti I have.
I guess I just don't have any items. Oh, come on. I guess Plant Man and Tomahawk Man are going to be my eternal enemies.
You know, speaking of outputs on on graphics cards, you know what has been a mystery to me for many years?
What's that?
Why? I've never seen a situation where this works.
DisplayPort.
Why can you not take the HDMI output or any output, I believe, from a graphics card and plug it into a capture card on the same computer?
I mean, that should work. I feel like I've done something like that before.
Because I know that kind of sounds silly, but
no, it should. That should.
In
totally
some
work,
ways,
right?
I feel that would be
more efficient than doing like a screen capture.
More efficient than doing a screen capture in some situations. Not always. Not always. I don't like doing screen capture really that much.
Right. I mean, Shadowplay makes it a lot easier, to be fair.
But now I've plugged in another computer's graphics card.
I think that's easier to do.
Into a capture card on another computer.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it just does not work plugging into its own capture card.
What did I do recently? I had this old HDMI to composite adapter
going to another monitor
that I used. So for the Sega Ages video, I'm sorry that's not out yet, but I needed to like get some footage of Fist of the North Star, like the anime, and I'm like, I don't want to get like a copyright strike. I don't want to like, do a screen capture or something like that. So what I did was, I have like my old computer, and I just like ran the HDMI out into one of those like crummy HDMI to composite scalers, and I just like ran it into my like Toshiba consumer CRT, and like it totally works great for that. Like it's just But the thing is, like, like because I talk about like how I saw Fist of the North Star like on TV, like as a kid, and it was like super. Come on, like I saw. There's no way I could have known that was going to happen the first time. It's like designed, like at least give me some sort of heads up that something could possibly come out of there. But like I just like just pointed the camera at the screen and recorded that then, and it worked great. Like it was like a perfect, it gives that exactly the kind of aesthetic that I would want for that footage.
you might, if you want to avoid comments. I mean, hey, not that I would say it very well either, but I remember people being critical of your pronunciation of the Japanese title of Fist of the North Star.
Well, you know what?
In some previous episode, it's like, you know what annoys me? Like this is something that
that's when people get annoyed that you
that bugs me is like
when people like
this is very
human.
Huh? Well, yeah, it's
like
very specific mistakes. Though to like Japanese is a second language. Like people have accents, okay? Like no one is like, oh, weird, you're German speaking English. You have a German accent. Like, you shouldn't say things that way. But if it's Japanese, oh no. Like, people are like, oh, I'm going to have an aneurysm because of how you said this Japanese word. Like, it's very specific to Japanese. Like, and it's not Japanese people saying it. It's people for who Japanese is a second language, or they have learned how to say, the names of their favorite anime in Japanese. And it's like, oh, if you are not saying Japanese correctly, then I just like I want to die and I can't listen.
Yeah, you might as well just give up.
Chris B says, no, it's not. People who actually know Japanese almost never correct people. But it's just like, it's really obnoxious. It's like it's okay for people to have accents. Like, I think maybe they would use the argument of like, oh, well, you know exactly how to say every word in Japanese because all of the syllables are the same way every time, which is not actually true. Yeah. Because there are cases where, ha becomes wa, and the U is dropped at the end of a su or something, or a masu or something like that. You just mas or whatever. Like there are exceptions in Japanese too. And it's just really dumb that some people like are so proud that they like learned how to say some words in Japanese, and like you're not allowed to speak. You're not allowed to even try to speak a Japanese word, like, and have an American accent or an accent of any other language. But no, it's okay to have an accent, if you're learning any language other than Japanese. But Japanese accents not allowed.
Did you see there was a Gaming Nostalgia had a $10 donation?
Yeah, just now. Thank you. The Gaming Nostalgist. Thank you. Saying, great stream, currently scanning Vid Pro cards while viewing.
Oh, so there's somebody in our Discord
gameplay. Hey, I'm not done reading.
Oh.
Have either of you played Arena Maze of Death on GameCube? The box art is crazy. I have not. I'm going to look up the box art right now, though.
For this?
Arena Maze of Death on GameCube.
I was like, going to use
it. Says the box art is crazy.
It's crazy.
Right now. It looks like a really
I'll go this way this time.
Like Kyle Reese with a really weird beard or something.
Yeah.
It's a strange looking beard. There's also a European box. It looks pretty weird, but different. No, I've not played that. But no, what's he talking about? Vid Pro cards?
So there's someone in our Discord that collects these. And they're just like these cards, I think, that they would put on like display. Think of them as like the kind of cards that you would see at like Toys R Us back in the day.
Oh, like a standee promoting a game or something like that?
Or like a flip top type thing. Well, not flip top, but you flip it up. you see all the box covers like hanging there, and you can like flip it up, and you can read it.
Yeah, like you lift like the top one. Okay, yeah.
Oh, is it the same person? Okay, so Gaming Nostalgia is the same person is from our Discord. Okay, sorry about that. I mean,
yeah, I did see that conversation in the Discord at some point. Like, so these are the things that, like, at Toys R Us, like, you took the card to the counter, and it's like, I want you to go in the back and get this game. Or I think
you would take the ticket out to take to the like the counter to like get that. This is just so you can get the information.
It's a really cool thing to collect, I think.
Yeah, and I think that they're kind of expensive now. Like more and more people are collecting them, but like that's kind of a good way to get some nice, like high quality box art scans, probably. Oh shoot.
Yeah. I mean, you would think they wouldn't be printed at all that high of a quality, but I guess they're pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, they're like laminated and everything, I think. But no, I mean, I think that, I mean, back then they would be. I feel like they would be printed in like a really high quality way because, like, that was like what people like looked at. Like that was their, like that could be their first and like last, like interaction with a game that they might want to buy. And if it doesn't look good, like then they're not gonna get it, you know? Or if it doesn't like look, if the quality it like makes it so the screenshots are barely like viewable.
Does anyone remember Best? Did anyone ever buy games at Best? Not Best Buy, just Best.
No.
Are you familiar with Best?
No, I'm not familiar at all.
It was kind of like Surface Merchandise. If you know that, you know Surface Merchandise.
No.
Really?
I do not.
I don't remember all of the mechanics of how you got your items, but I remember buying several games at Best, and you. Like, most of the things you buy were bought there. Like, they come out of the back on, like, a conveyor belt. Like, near the counter where you check out. Like,
conveyor belt, like, oh, that's
am I
like,
remembering correctly how this worked? I don't remember if, like, when you bought games, if you, like, got a card like that, and then... I remember... It was either Best or Surface Merchandise where I got a TV for, I think it was my 11th birthday or something like that. 11th or 12th birthday. I think it was an RCA or Mitsubishi TV. It ended up not being a very good TV over the long haul, but it was my childhood TV for like the, you know, I say childhood, teenage TV. It was my teenage TV. It was the TV I played, you know, all through N64 and the PS1 era. But yeah, it was a weird concept where like you like I think there were cards or there were some means of like grabbing like I want this thing.
So really quick, if you see the faces there, that means there's a hidden item there, right? I assume.
That you did
because
not
these two have nothing here.
Or maybe you got it? I don't know.
I'm gonna go back and explore really quick.
I got a TV for my 11th birthday because I always on the weekends I would bring my Super Nintendo out to hook up on the big TV, which was a 19-inch TV. My dad didn't want me to do that anymore, so he got me my own 19-inch TV. And it was only an RF. It was an RF TV. I mean, we did not have, other than on VCRs, we did not have a composite port in the house until I got, I guess,
Just
my
there to make sure you
my
die.
HD CRT. I mean, I had to run my N64 and PS1 through my VCR because, you know, that's when the system stopped shipping with RF ports, you know, built into them. You had to buy a separate thing, but it came with the composite cables, and you could hook that up through a VCR, which was a mono-only VCR. So I actually had to use an RCA Y adapter to get both audio channels.
I need to get in there.
So, I mean, it was not,
Kill myself.
it wasn't exactly a high-end TV.
I will take this though. Use the F blast.
Okay, Brian North says, service merchandise, there was a card in the case, and you had to type in the computer, and it would come out on the conveyor belt where you paid. Okay, so did you actually enter it on the computer yourself? I don't remember. I don't remember exactly how it worked, but yeah, it was this whole system where the things were in the back, and there was like some sort of automated like conveyor belt system to get you the thing. I don't know if there's any stores of that concept that exist anywhere in the world still.
So this weekend there was like this big thing here in Cincinnati. Blink. I think that I've like worn a shirt for like the first year that they had it. Oh, come on.
What is it?
So it's this kind of like art installation thing that's like citywide. It's like different like art installation that's mainly like color like just like light stuff for the most part. But it's like really, really cool. And they do it like
What was it called again?
It's called Blink.
Blink.
Yeah. And we went on Thursday night, and actually that's where my family is right now. Like they went again. You should like look it up. It's pretty neat though.
So it's like a light installation like before Christmas.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not like Christmas lights. It's like big giant like artwork, and it's not only lights. Like there's like, I don't know. It's like it's hard to like really like pin it down into like one thing.
Well, let me Cincinnati Blink Festival of Light.
Yeah. It's really, really cool, though. Do I gotta fight this guy again, or is he dead? Okay. I know where I need to go, dude. So let's try this again.
I missed 10 minutes ago. I'm sorry. $10 super chat from Tony Escobar. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. Saying my son, I love Mega Man. Playing and swearing at Mega Man 2 with my son, 8 at the time, on the NES Mini brought me back to gaming. The next game I played was Final Fantasy for the first time ever, and I've been in retro gaming ever since. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. You know, I mean, hey, those mini consoles. You know,
yeah,
that's what they're for. You know, it's awesome to hear them serving that purpose. You know,
yeah,
they're very accessible, and even though most people probably like play it for like an hour and never touch it again, like, you know, there's also going to be others where it like kind of resonates and it brings them back.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of mini consoles, well, I mean, I don't know if you want to read the other two stuff. I'll come back to the mini consoles in just a minute.
Yeah. There was a notification that Andy64's been a member for 9 months in a row.
Oh, 9.
Saying, hey guys, question about your skills as players. What video game genres are you great at? And what's the one that you are not good at all?
I'm not good at racing games at all. But I like them.
Huh?
I'm not good at racing games for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty good at Mario Kart. I mean, not like exceptional or anything, but I am not good at like realistic racing games. I kind of like them sometimes, but I'm not good at them. Horrible at fighting games. I mean, I basically don't even play fighting games. Like outside of Smash Brothers and Soul Calibur, I like Soul Calibur for some reason. I think it's the weapon-based system kind of makes me feel a little more in control of the action than just like punch kick and like, you know, Street Fighter or Tekken, stuff like that. I just have no real understanding of how to play Street Fighter and Tekken and stuff like that. Virtua Fighter. A genre I wish I was good at is shmups or shooting games.
Yeah, I'm not very good at them either. I just play them.
That's a genre that's like so vast and seems like something that I should be really into, and I really struggle with it. I want to be more into those games than I am. And I don't entirely know like what's the difference between that and Contra, because I can get way into Contra. But like put me in a spaceship, you know, you're still dodging little bullets and stuff, but it's so much easier for me to do as, you know, a dude with a gun than it is a spaceship. And I just I don't know what the difference is. But I don't know if I'm like great at any genre, but I mean, you know, platformers are my bread and butter for sure. You know, I consider like my two top genres to be platformers and Japanese RPGs. Those are the things I enjoy the most.
I mean, I don't even know if I would consider myself like good at any genre. Like I just it's just about learning the game, and if you like it enough to get good at it.
My skill is not giving up.
Yeah.
You know, I'm very good at banging my head against the wall until it falls. Like, you know, some platformers I am probably better at than others. Like people who, you know, didn't grow up playing Super Mario Brothers 3 all the time seem to struggle with it, and I don't think it's that big of a deal. But I just, you know, my gaming comfort zone is definitely platformers.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was basically all I played for a long time. You know, I played some other things on NES, but like weirdly, once I got like my Super Nintendo, like most of what I was playing on Super Nintendo and Game Boy for a long time was like basically platformers and nothing else. For the most part, I mean there were exceptions, but like my Super Nintendo library, which you have to keep in mind, I got my Super Nintendo in '94, so I got it fairly late. But for several years, my Super Nintendo library was basically Mario, Kirby, and Donkey Kong. And that included some Mario and Kirby games that were not platformers. Kirby's Avalanche and Kirby's Dream Course and Mario RPG. But like my gaming tastes were actually very, very narrow until the N64. And I sort of soon realized, like, if I didn't expand my my interests,
How do I get down there?
I wasn't going to have a lot to play because it took a long time for N64 games to come out. I think one of the first games that I bought that really kind of expanded those horizons was like Blast Corps.
Yeah. Do you know how I get down here on it?
Which is a game that still kind of defies definition in terms of a genre. Like, what even is it? Like it's almost more like an arcade game.
Blast Corps? You know, I played that a little bit when I was working on the saves episode.
Oh yeah.
I don't, have we ever like streamed that as like the main game before? Because I could see myself.
I think so. You should. What did you think of it from the bit you played?
I mean, it seems like mindless and fun.
I mean,
because it's pretty mindless.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the vehicles do become quite difficult to control.
I mean, is that like the like that's the whole thing? Is like it's like the challenge is because like the things you're playing as is just like hard to control.
Well, some of them.
I mean, because that doesn't sound like super fun.
I mean, there's a learning curve to some of the vehicles, but the challenge is more sort of solving the puzzles and sort of, getting through the level efficiently.
Okay, I'm missing a rush suit that I can fly. That seems fair.
But I think it's just a really fun game. It gets really challenging if you want to try to get like all of the platinum medals. I don't think I think I was like 1 or 2 platinum medals short of 100%. Whew. I heard a boo 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 boo, and I didn't know whose boo 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 it was until until my stream.
I almost fell apart there.
There was also a $5 super chat from Brandon Campbell. Thank you. Saying, love that you guys are playing my favorite Mega Man game. I was mending a broken leg when it released and played it daily for weeks. Great memories. Wow. You know, I remember when I was young, like, I would,
I don't know where I get the flying suit. I feel like I should get the flying suit.
Maybe you do it after you go to Plant Man. I mean, why don't you just do Plant Man? Because
Plant Man.
It's not like you're going to be forced to go into the Wily levels immediately.
Yeah.
So you can go explore the other levels later if you want.
So could you like basically? I mean, you could probably do a cover of Soundgarden's Spoon Man with any Mega Man boss name. The song is called Spoon Man. And it says Spoon Man. So I'm wondering if like at least most Mega Man bosses could like you could make that work in the song.
But I mean I remember there was a period of time when I was younger where like when I got a new game like I didn't even play anything else for a month. Like even if I beat the game, like I would just play it again.
Yeah.
And I was like...
I mean, as you should.
I know, but like...
Unless you don't
that was what I would do for like a month. Man, like I wouldn't...
Load it up on those...
Like I wouldn't like go back to some other game I have. Like I almost remember like in my head I was like even almost making a point about it. Like well, I mean it would seem terrible to like not to play anything other than my new game. Like Like I should play that for at least a month before I touch anything else. Like it was.
But what if you didn't like it?
Silly thing to
Or did you ever get games that you like? Like, did you ever get any games that you were excited about and you ended up not liking it?
Like as a kid?
Yeah.
I mean,
I abused the.
I don't know if I was ultra excited about it or anything, but I really didn't like Tetris 2.
Oh.
I got Tetris 2 at best. But I don't know why. I just remember thinking like, yeah, I want Tetris 2. Why wouldn't I want Tetris 2? And, like, not only is it not great, but like the Super Nintendo version, like I really don't like the aesthetic of it.
Darn it.
I ended up rebuying it a few years ago. Yeah, it was a few years ago. Just to have it, just because I have memories of playing it and being disappointed. I guess I wanted to hang on to those memories of disappointment.
I mean, I definitely abused the electronics boutique return policy. And return stuff that that I probably would have like should have kept.
Yeah.
Because they were good, but I was like, talked myself out of it. Like in most of those games, I own now.
Like what?
Like I definitely beat and returned the first Streets of Rage. I killed him. He came out anyways. And I think that I can't remember what I got. I think that I may have gotten NHL Hockey after that. 'Cause they came out at the same time.
This was
but it was not. I think it was like the opposite way around. Like I bought NHL Hockey and returned that and got Streets of Rage.
I don't remember seeing Electronics Boutique around the time that Streets of Rage 1 would have come out.
Maybe weren't like a lot of them, I guess.
Huh?
Maybe there probably wasn't like a ton of them at the time.
Yeah,
like, I was surprised that we even got one.
Yeah, I mean the main store of that style that I remember from that time was Babbitt.
Like, what is my problem here? This stupid fish are getting me. And you know what? I bet you those stupid fish are going to show up again on the last.
Yeah, TWW says, wasn't Babbage's back then? Babbage's was the main thing I remember.
Nah, see, the closest Babbage's for me was in Buffalo. So that was like an hour away.
I mean,
and there's like no software, etc.
I don't remember going to Babbage's a lot. I don't remember if there was one near me, but I definitely remember it being in the mall near my aunt and uncle. To be honest, I think like most of my games when I was much younger came from Toys R Us.
Yeah.
Not a lot from mall stores.
See, I see, like, I Christian Waters says I took, Christian Waters saying it would give me full store credit and I get a $60 new game. See, I mean, that was the thing. That was the thing with EB, is like you had 10 days and you could it's like an extended rental, apparently. And then you return and you just like keep on using that same money over and over again.
It's an extended rental and it's free.
And it's free, yes. And I mean, you look at it now and they obviously like have to cut people off from abusing it. But like that is like an incredibly generous return policy.
Did Electronics Boutique ever really, in their earlier days, did they sell anything other than like video games?
No,
because like the name does not evoke video games necessarily. It sounds more like a Radio Shack.
No, it was only Was it 30 days? It may have been 30. I feel like it was 10 days. 30 days seems like out of control. If it was 30 days, like I feel like that's something that I would remember. Like,
yeah, Babbage's, Software Etc., Electronics Boutique, those were basically all the same. I don't remember Software Etc. very well. But Funko Land, that was the one that was different. That was, oh my gosh, what a store. What a store.
the closest Funko Land to me was in the closest Funko. Come on. These stupid piranhas are just like are driving me crazy. They're the hardest part about this game.
Well, you just gotta see if they'll jump. Gotta get close enough to see if they'll jump out before you make the leap. But man, Funko Land. I would love to just any given day in the mid to late 90s. I would love to time travel back and see what was in that Funko Land. I mean, man, it was good to be getting into a out of date system, an out of date console. With the Funko Land here. It's like I'm glad that I had the revelation when I was like, I don't know, 14, 15 years old. I was like, man, you know what? Good games don't stop being good because the system is old. I was like, I asked my parents one year, I was like, I want an NES for my birthday. Like 98, 99.
But you said you wanted an NES, or you want an NES game for your birthday?
Well, no, I wanted an NES for my birthday.
Oh.
I mean, they were probably like $30, $35 at Funko Land, I would guess. I got an NES game in like 10 games for my birthday one year. Because, I mean, they were so cheap. They were so cheap. So, and that was like, I was like, man, I can get so many games for my birthday if I ask for NES games.
Oh my!
Or Super
This
Nintendo
part is
games.
like insanely difficult. I don't know what it is about it.
I don't know. It's psyching you out. Yeah, I mean that birthday, I got like an NES, Mario 1, 2, and 3. I'm pretty sure. At least one of the Zeldas, Mega Man 4. I'd say like Crystallis and Shadowgate. Maybe Final Fantasy 1. Possibly Kirby's Adventure.
So is it the stages that don't have an icon that has something?
But like, I mean, they were so cheap. I mean, it was $98.99. So you could get a lot of games. I remember like a Christmas or so after that, I was like, you know what? Instead of asking for one N64 game, I'm going to ask for a bunch of NES and Super Nintendo games. I got Final Fantasy 4, aka 2, Donkey Kong Country 3, Mega Man 3, Star Tropics, and I asked for Bionic Commando, but they didn't have that, so the clerk apparently suggested to my parents, what about Commando?
Right.
Which was not great. But Yeah, man. Funko.
Those stag beetles, they get me.
Magical. Some people talking about KB Toys as well, and I've talked about this before, but I don't know if this was nationwide, but my KB Toys, which normally they were in malls, but the one near me when I lived in Delaware, it was like in a strip mall.
Mm-hmm.
So you could enter it straight from the outside. So it was very convenient. And I bought most of my new N64 and some PlayStation games there for years. Because if you pre-ordered a game, they gave you a $10 gift certificate when you picked it up. So I was getting new N64, and I would take that $10 gift certificate, and I would take it as my down payment on the next game I wanted to pre-order, and I would get another $10 gift certificate. So I was functionally getting brand new N64 games for $40 on launch day for years.
So I think it's fire. I think it's some. I'm gonna have to use my E-tanks if I don't do this. I'm not doing that part again.
KB Express. That doesn't sound really familiar. But I also got my N64 at a KB near my grandma's house. And I was just like in shock that they had one because they were so hard to find. I had no expectation of them actually having one in stock. And of all days, I believe it was Black Friday, which I think was kind of a different scale back then. But they actually had one. Like they weren't sold out. Like me and my dad went to the mall near my grandma's after Thanksgiving, and I just went with them to go with them. We were planning to go into KB just to see if they had an N64, but I didn't expect it. And they had one left, and I was just immediately like, oh, we'll take it. And I remember, my you couldn't hook up any game systems to my grandma's TV, at least not without an adapter of some kind that obviously we didn't have. I just remember just laying on the bed and staring longingly at the pictures of the games on the back of the box. I was just laying on the bed, just staring at the N64. Oh man.
I got the RushJet adapter. Alright, so I got Mr. X, so I should go back to these and try to find... Now I got the RushJet adapter. Maybe that means I can fly.
But it was, I couldn't open it until Christmas anyway. Well, technically I did open it for a little bit because, my dad was like, well, I want to make sure this works, I don't think people worry about that as much these days, but back then it was like, well, this thing might be broken, this expensive electronic thing.
Yeah, and what's funny is that there's less of a reason for suspect that it might be broken then than probably now.
Maybe, but actually my NES was dead in the box on Christmas, which I have no memory of.
So you think that's why? That is
that's probably why.
Why he
wanted me to make sure that it worked. But it was kind of like a hybrid Christmas present because, like, that was, I was of the age where, my dad wanted to teach his son about, saving money.
Yeah.
So I had to earn, $100 of it, mowing the lawn and
cool.
doing chores.
I mean, it might not sound cool at the time, but it's like that's definitely a good like lesson to learn.
Yeah, but so the rest of it could be a Christmas present. So I was kind of like in on it, like I was, part of looking for it, buying it, and he did want me to take it out of the box to make sure it worked. Once we were home, where the TV was, and I was able
barely worth it
to do that because I had already bought Mario 64 like sometime previously, so I already had a game that I could use on it. So yeah, I was able to test it. But then it was back in the box until Christmas. But yeah, and I was.
What's gonna happen? Oh.
I was 5 or 6 when I got my NES, and my parents were upset about it not working because it was a Santa present, and Santa had to take it back to Sears.
Yep, I mean,
and I have no memory of that. But my dad always says, like, yeah, that Nintendo, it was broken on Christmas Day. It didn't work. And of course, you gotta wonder if like it was totally fine and it was just like the cartridge wasn't reading. Because I mean, that was always a problem.
I mean, the chance of it being possible. Like DOA, like I feel like are probably real slim.
I feel like it's slim, like especially considering like you aren't likely to run across a dead NES today. You know?
I mean, it's just like the pins usually.
I suspect it was fine. And my dad says like, oh, the guy at the store said, oh yeah, people have been returning them. They had a bad batch. But I kind of wonder.
Yeah,
like,
according to who?
Yeah.
This guy is like anecdotal.
Yeah, I kind of wonder. Like it was probably a bunch of people just like getting.
Well, that's what they're saying.
Flashing light. And
doesn't matter. Like where I heard like. I don't have any proof, but that's what people are saying.
But yeah, considering like the likelihood of an actual non-functioning NES is like relatively low today, it was probably fine. Oh wow, there was just now a $20 super chat from Ruffin. Ruffin. Thank you, Ruffin.
Thank you.
Saying my storage unit was broken into recently. Ooh. 200 plus games and spare consoles were taken. Nothing that in the end isn't replaceable. Have either of you ever dealt with anything similar or have friends who have?
No, it's like definitely a fear
not.
that I have though. Like I would be.
No. But Ashura, who was on the stream with us several months ago, who worked on the restorations for Sonic CD on Sonic Origins. He had a horrible situation.
Yeah. Where he it got stolen. By like was it like a sister's boyfriend or something like that?
Something. Well, I think both of them.
Yeah.
Were complicit. Horrible situation. Yeah, my cousin had his TurboGrafx stolen
So what do I?
while moving out of college one year. My cousin's husband specifically, and which is funny because they met in college, and they were in college like I want to say
almost
like around.
I have to find him for real.
Maybe 90. Started maybe 96, 97. So this would be late 90s, I guess. I think. When they were in college. I think they're either the same age or maybe a year older than you. So when were you in college?
Me?
Yeah.
I was in college from 97 to 2002.
Yeah. So
or fall 97 to...
So yeah, my cousin's husband was cool enough to bring a TurboGrafx to college. that far after its day. Like that's pretty awesome. But the not awesome part is it was stolen while moving out one time. So
I didn't go to medical school. Maybe it's 2000. No. 2001. Like it's weird to think about. Like I had to go. I went an extra semester, so it might have been 2002. It might have just been spring 2002.
College for me was fall 02 to spring 06. Exactly 8 semesters. I did everything I could to ensure I'd not go more than that. I did not want to go to school more than 4 whole years. And our friend Lynn, something was stolen from her back in the day too. I forget what it was. It was some Super Nintendo game. I forget if she was able to get it back. I think she knew who did it. So, I think someone broke into their house when a neighbor broke into their house when they weren't home or something. I don't know. I forget if it was Earthbound or Yoshi's Island.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely something.
I don't remember. It was
terrifying to me. And it's that's one of the many reasons I've thought about I need to get my games insured. And I've been using that CLZ Collect to kind of track how much I can have to claim. But I feel like it's something. There's probably a whole process to it now, and that's something that I need to do. I mean, my wife says, "Oh, it'd probably be fine just as long as you have records of everything." It's I guess you can take photos and stuff, and maybe have a bit of a record of it. But
well, fortunately, your game collection is probably effective if you analyze enough B-roll. The vast majority of your collection would be documented in some form.
That's true. That's true. I have years of it, right? So yeah. I never even thought about that.
But didn't you include a Neo Geo CD in an episode at some point that you borrowed from someone? You could be well, I had a Neo Geo CD
in my house at one point.
In my house,
it was here.
So are you trying to get all of the items?
I'm thinking about it.
Do you know which?
Well, so it's...
Did anyone clarify what the Mega Man faces are for?
So if there's no icon, that means there's something in the stage still.
Okay. So you're missing the beat letters, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know where... Let's see. Is beat... you need beat for, the last boss, right?
think so.
I thought Beat like makes the last boss really easy.
Oh, maybe.
I mean, it's.
I forget if
once you get the jetpack, man, you're set.
I forget if Beat like, is this the game where he like picks you up out of a pit?
Maybe.
Or is that 7?
Oh, it's not. Let's see. What is it? Is it the? Is it night? Yeah. Gotcha. All right. One more. I think there's only one more left now. Anyways. If you're missing stuff, you have to regress to all the other levels and use items to do stuff you couldn't do before. See, like, I kind of like that stuff. Look at the Beat T parts.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, you were really into that in Mega Man X.
Yeah. I mean, you know, like, I love the first Mega Man X. I was telling my kids I used to come home every day. After I got Mega Man X, I would come home every day after school and play through the whole game. For a period. Kaylee Gamers is asking when the next podcast is out, and it's out tomorrow. It should be out every Monday.
How many are out?
What?
How many are out?
Just episode 0.
So the true, like, in episode, I mean, you know, I have to admit, I haven't.
That's okay.
I did, like, I turned it on for like a few minutes, but like, do you even have a question in the first, in episode 0?
Yeah, there's a question in the first one.
What is the question?
I don't remember.
You don't?
I don't remember. It was like, I haven't listened to it. It was, you know, a month and a half ago now. I'm sure somebody here, like, apparently it's been downloaded over 400 times.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a good start, I think.
It is a really good start. Because, you know, I always say that
it's hard.
That cross-pollination of audiences is really difficult.
But I think
that's more than I would have expected, because usually people aren't listening somewhere, you know. You would think people would be like, oh, I like what Coury does here. I want to see what Coury is doing here, too. But, like, actually getting that message out, like, it's really difficult. Like, and getting people to take action on that.
Yeah.
It's surprisingly hard. So 400 some is...
Oh, you know what it was? It was if I could make any song, like, disappear from the face of the planet. What would it be?
See, this is why I've not listened and don't expect to listen often. I mean, no offense, but, like, I do imagine that, like, a lot of your topics are going to be something that I just, like, can't relate to at all.
Well, I mean, you know, it's...
Let me know if there are topics that you think I would enjoy, and I will listen to those.
Okay.
So if you guys are, like, talking about, like, music, like, I'm just, like, gonna be so lost.
Well, I mean, for instance, like, when Dustin was on, like, one of the questions I had for him is I had him rank, like, all the Friday the 13th movies.
Oh, so Dustin's in an episode.
Yeah, he's episode 4, I think.
Okay, now see, that one I would have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You know, because Dustin and I share a love of horror movies.
Yeah. But that's a little ways off. I don't want to, like, spoil it, I guess.
I mean, is the question in the title of the episode, or
it's like I you know, Chris is coming up with all the titles.
You start watching.
So I don't know exactly what he's called them yet. I do know that he re-uploaded like the videos for the first few episodes, so he could like flip me so we're facing each other. Because I know that Joe from GameSack was like, you should flip it so you guys are like talking.
I know,
to each
but
other.
it still annoys me because then like you're like if you have text on your shirt, it'd be backward. I mean, I understand, but like it'd be ideal if you could figure out like a camera positioning either in your layout or physical space that would fix it.
Yeah,
I need to get around to making a new layout for streams, so we have that option. I don't like it either. So wait, why are you fighting Yamato Man again?
because when you get the item from the level, you still gotta fight the boss again.
Oh.
So. There we go. That should be the last item that I need. Podcast episode 1. Display port. That is a good question. I mean, not display port, but
I mean, if I was a guest sometime.
That's okay, so I think I got everything. Imagine building this place. Like, how does Dr. Wily like build these giant castles and nobody knows? Like, who's he like, where's he getting all the pieces to like make this happen?
It's a new one every year.
Yeah.
And oftentimes 2 different ones.
Yeah. It's completely unbelievable to me.
There's a 499 super chat from Chill Rhino. Thank you. Always love seeing that name. Chill Rhino or Chillerino, either one. I enjoy both of those. Saying try what are your horror movie all-timers for the spoopy season. Ooh. The thing about horror movies is, like, sometimes they don't need to be good, you know?
Yeah, well, I'm curious, like, now that you just saw Dawn of the Dead, like, how that would rank for you, because I feel like...
Dawn of the Dead would be very high, yeah.
I mean, that's like that and...
It would be up there, yeah. For context, you know, I have only just this year gotten around to the George Romero zombie movies that are not Night of the Living Dead. I'd seen Night of the Living Dead years ago, but all the others I finally watched this season. Dawn of the Dead, it would be relatively high, I think. Most of the others were not that good though, and the last 2 that he made were kind of bad.
Yeah, I mean,
especially the found
the
footage
first
ones.
2 are like the real ones that are like really hold up well.
Yeah. You know, I mean, I had an opinion that caught Dustin off guard, which was that I liked Land of the Dead more than Day of the Dead. I thought Day of the Dead was fun, or Land of the Dead was fun. Day of the Dead, I didn't like the setting. It just, the setting made the movie not very interesting.
And a lot of that was because of budget. Like, apparently it was supposed to be a lot bigger of a deal, but they had to move it to underground bunker.
But I mean, you know, obviously, original Halloween is way up there. The Thing is way up there.
I'm gonna try something crazy here.
trying to think, what would be my favorite Friday the 13th? I love the first Nightmare on Elm Street. What would be my favorite Friday the 13th? See, Friday the 13th is kind of a situation where it's almost got a retroactive twist. Because if you...
Oh, yeah.
If you are aware of Friday the 13th, but have not watched the movies... And then you watch the original movie, you're like, wait, Jason wasn't the killer?
Yeah, I mean, people generally don't realize that, I think.
Yeah, which is it's kind of neat, but the first Friday the 13th, I think, is hard to go back to. I do like the second Friday the 13th quite a bit.
That's
you know what is not a popular opinion, but I think one of my favorite Friday the 13th
like 9 lives
movies
out of that
Jason
thing.
Goes to Hell.
Or 4 lives, at least.
Huh?
There's like 4 extra lives inside that thing.
Wow. But like that one is like so weird. And like that's the one where they blow him to bits at the like the military like is brought in and like blows him up in the beginning of the movie.
Jason Goes to Hell.
Huh?
The last one. Or Jason Goes to Hell.
No, that wasn't the last one.
Well, I mean, it was the last one. Like, it was perceived as going to be the last one when they were making it.
Yeah, but like,
the final
was that
Friday.
The last one before Jason X?
Well, yeah, but I mean, they weren't planning on,
yeah,
like making Jason X.
Jason X is fun in a cheesy way too.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I have a soft spot for that one. Like, Drum and I are all like, whenever we see the coroner in a movie, we're always like on the lookout. Huh? We're always on the lookout for him to be like eating a sandwich or something. Because like,
yeah,
you know, isn't that like such a thing? Like, there's like the coroner is always just like casually eating a sandwich or something like that in a movie. But then the coroner,
but he like eats the heart. He eats Jason's heart.
He just like he stares at. There's the way he stares at him for so long.
And he just does it. You know? Like,
yeah, he just goes for it, man.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's like one of the silliest things about the movie is like Jason isn't even like in it until like the end.
I don't know. I know it's not a popular one, but I kind of love it. It's a guilty pleasure, I guess. Let's see what else would be up there.
For your lives.
You know what's a movie that's been on my mind lately was actually a movie that I kind of want to watch it again. I saw it last year for the first time. Have you ever seen Ginger Snaps?
No, but I know. You know what? I've never seen the whole thing. But I remember like when it first came out, it was like it's like the werewolves or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember it being like a real big deal when it came out. Like, oh, this is like this horror movie about. I remember it being like a big deal, like people making a big deal about it being really good when it came out. Because it came out during that period when like like after Scream came out, it's like it's like Scream but like about like werewolves.
I mean, I guess I could see that comparison maybe. Because it has a comedy element for sure. But what I thought was so interesting about it, and I can't think of any other horror comedy that I've seen where this was the case. I feel like it created tension through humor. Like, and it also like created tension through like actually being legitimately scary at times. Like, and it was such an interesting balance of horror and comedy and how it built tension through both of them, because there were so many moments in it where like sort of this ridiculous like horrifying yet comedic thing happens, and it's just like, oh gosh, oh no. But it was like funny, but also just like so intensive. Like, what are they going to do about this? You know?
Right.
It was a really interesting vibe that was just really unique. The first sequel was pretty good too. Not much comedy in it in comparison, but it was more of a straight horror movie.
It's gotta be a different.
And it wasn't as good, but it was pretty good.
Get him, beat! Get him!
That's also I mentioned Blair Witch Project. That, I mean, some people don't like it or think it hasn't aged well, but I still think that's one of the scariest movies I've ever seen.
What is?
I think so.
Wait, what is?
Blair Witch Project.
Oh.
I mean, it's such a cliche at this point, but like, I mean, there is no found footage movie that comes close. Like, maybe the closest would be the first Paranormal Activity, but even then, like, Blair Witch Project is amazing.
I gotta be doing something here. Like, what am I missing here? Oh, maybe it's the Tomahawk. That's it.
The Blair Witch Project 2 is...
It's an interesting movie. I think that it probably... I never saw, like, whatever I guess the third one would have been. But I think the Blair Witch 2 is kind of like... It's really interesting what it did.
It is an extremely interesting sort of stealth deconstruction. For
yeah,
sure.
And kind of ahead of its time.
Very much ahead of its time, absolutely. It's different, obviously, but like if anyone doesn't like to, like, definitely read up some of the analysis of it. It's like, wow, like the director like had a very clear vision for this.
Yeah, he's like a documentary director that made it.
It's actually quite interesting.
How many extra guys do I have?
Extra guys.
Yeah.
I rewatched It Follows recently, which is quite good. Have you seen that?
I've watched all the good parts, or all the you know, like I like horror movies, but a lot of times if I know something's gonna if I know it's gonna like kind of freak me out, like many times I'll just like watch like the scary parts on YouTube, and then just like that's enough. No, seriously, like, because listen, I mean, do you watch like these scary movies like ever by yourself? Like, you usually watch them.
Sure.
What?
Sure.
Really?
I mean, not as much as...
Because nobody in my house likes them.
But...
And I'm not going to sit there and watch all of these, like, horror movies, like, by myself.
I can watch horror movies by myself.
I mean, when it comes down to it, I'll just, like... I'll just, like, watch the parts on... and I just, like... It's
a movie that you and I watched together over Skype or Discord many years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what's it called? It's also a really good one. I think it's House of the Devil?
Yeah.
That's it. House of the Devil. Like, it takes place in the 80s, and it's, like, shot in a way that feels very authentic to the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And it's real scary. it's quite good. It has, I think, one of the better horror jump scares. That it's. I mean, I wouldn't want to spoil it, but there's a moment where someone dies very quickly in that movie, and it's just out of nowhere. In a good way. Like, I know people often criticize jump scares as not being real horror, but this was extremely effective the way it was done. I've seen the first Hell House.
So did we talk about that? Like, I didn't realize that there was 2 sequels to it.
Yeah. I just learned that very recently. I mean, it might have been on a stream.
Was that when we were talking to Dustin? Like, Dustin maybe told it. Because I just...
Yeah, I was telling Drum maybe we should prioritize watching those sequels sometime this month. I don't know. I mean,
yeah.
October is never long enough.
I mean, that's one that I watched by myself. It's just that nobody in my family has any interest in watching any of these, so then I'm not going to sit there and make them do that either, you know? If they have no interest in that.
Well, someone's talking about Reverend Kane from Poltergeist 2. He is definitely
Reverend Kane.
Grade A creepy, for sure. I see Kaylee Gamer bring up Mandy. I have not seen Mandy.
I know, I want to see it.
But I want to see it really badly just based on the Cheddar Goblin commercial that I saw. I've seen a snippet on YouTube of this commercial for Cheddar Goblin mac and cheese. And it is one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life. And I need to see the movie.
What does a C-Flash even do?
There's this little girl in the beginning. There's like this goblin, and she's like, who ate all the macaroni and cheese? Cheddar Goblin. Goblin. Goblin mac and cheese. And I want to see the movie just based on that. I've seen Barbarian. I don't think I've ever heard of it.
That's one of my favorite words that Tim Rogers uses when he talks about how when things have been ruined, where he talks about if something that he liked has been tainted in some way to make him not like it, it's been goblinized or made it feel like it's. I mean, I don't know if that's a good way to put it. If it's been something, I don't know. It's made to be more scary than it should be. Maybe that's a good way to put it. I don't know. That's it's been goblinized. Let me try this.
So, are you still in Mr. X's castle?
I am.
Or not Wily yet.
Right.
The twist.
Wait, Wily's in this?
Ah, sorry, I spoiled it. I remember when I was a kid. I've often said, and it surprises people every time, that Mega Man 7 was really kind of my first exposure to Mega Man because my friends liked renting it. I remember just thinking, they've got the opening scene there, and that Dr. Wily had these robots that were set to go break him out of jail if they had not received contact from, they were asleep, and if if he didn't check in with them after 6 months, then they went to break him out of prison. I just remember as a kid, I was like, man, that's genius. It's so smart. What a brilliant fail.
Oh, I see that. So that one item I got siphons the power-ups to, or the replenishes the, so I don't have to equip the weapons. It automatically does that. So Dustin, do I take that to mean that you didn't like it? Let's talk about Clerks 3, which is like a weird thing that even exists in the first place.
Is that Kevin? That's a Kevin Smith thing, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Is the new one a Kevin Smith thing?
Yes. Yeah. I'm just charging through these. And the people working on this, how bored do you think they were making this game? At this point.
Like, after having made 5 before this?
Yeah. I mean, you think they're just, like, really bored? Like, oh my god, we gotta do another one. Are you serious right now?
Mega Man X wasn't out when this came out, was it?
Yeah.
Was it?
I mean, as far as I know, it was, yeah.
Let me
because Mega Man X came out before Mega Man 7.
I know that.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it was, like, slightly before or, like, the exact same time.
Okay. Came out in Japan. Mega Man X came out in Japan. Wait. Really? Came out in late December 93 in Japan and January 94? What? I didn't... Is Mega Man X a 93, 94 game? I thought it was older. Okay. Mega Man 6 came out in Japan like a month or so.
I knew I was going to die there. I was just going for it, though.
A month or so before Mega Man X. Okay. But it came out 2 months. Mega Man 6 came out 2 months after Mega Man X here. That's probably why Capcom why Nintendo published it instead of Capcom, because they probably thought maybe it would be they didn't want to distract from Mega Man X, maybe.
Right.
Or they were still busy promoting that.
Yeah. Well, they probably figured, like, maybe that would help. Like, I mean, they didn't want to distract it, but I wonder if they thought, like, oh, maybe it could help it sell.
Wow, Mega Man 7 came out later than I realized, too.
Yeah.
March 24th, 95 in Japan, and then September 95. It came out, like, the same time as Yoshi's Island. I did not realize it was that late.
I think they, like...
Yeah, I mean, that explains why it's so rare.
Oh, come on. Come on. I was just being lazy there. I wish I didn't have to see that stupid cutscene every time. Like, we get it. Or she has to come down and becomes one with Rock.
Yeah, NES runs at 60 frames per second. Almost all games run at 60 frames per second. It runs at 60 hertz. It's always outputting 60 hertz. But there are some games like Ninja Turtles 1 that run at 30 frames per second. But most are 60 frames per second. Basically, all American and Japanese consoles run at 60 hertz, and always have until the newest consoles, which can run at 120. But even if a game is 30 frames per second, the
it's like
system is
60.1.
outputting 60 hertz or 120 hertz if you set it to. That wouldn't work that way on the
Oh, what do I got to use on them?
But it would on the Xbox Series X, where like if a game was 30 FPS, but you set your console to 120 hertz, it would be outputting 120 hertz, but just displaying the same frame for 4 refreshes.
There he is. It's Dr. Willie.
Yeah, I think there's still a lot of people who just like don't realize that it was when systems went to 3D, it was too hard to make 3D graphics 60 frames per second most of the time for, well, up until basically now, right? Like it was an exception for console games to be 60 FPS. And now it's like it's kind of an exception on PS5 and Series X for it to not support 60 frames per second, or at least support a mode. So a lot of people think like, wow, but no, like it was actually a downgrade when systems went to 3D. But I didn't know it at the time. I didn't realize for years that I'd been playing 60 frames per second games all the time. Now, I think I told the story not that long ago how when Nintendo Power was saying the F-Zero X was going to be the first 60 FPS N64 game. Or at least the first, because like there's Mischief Makers. It might have been like the first like fully 3D 60 FPS game. And I think I interpreted that as like it was the first 60 FPS game ever. It's like, wow, that's impressive. I didn't understand that games weren't running at the same speed that they had been. I didn't understand.
He's just, oh, what? Come on. There's like no foreshadowing at all.
Mr. X was definitely a lamer gimmick compared to Dr. Cossack and Proto Man in the previous 2 games. Dr. Wowie! If we find that meteor, we'll find Dr. Wowie.
Did they not even restore my... They didn't even restore my junk. Come on. I'm just like stupid, and all I need to do is go over it.
Well, Kurt X says, I'm usually sensitive to frame dips, but in some N64 games I don't even notice it, like an Ocarina of Time. You know, Ocarina of Time runs at 20 frames per second. A lot of N64 games target 20 frames per second. And if they pull it off consistently, well,
there's
just like 30 FPS.
Yeah.
20 within a 60 hertz container is still even frame pacing. So that's why it works okay if you're, willing to tolerate it. I mean, when I sit down to play N64 games, like I've got my mindset like ready for some N64 frame rates, like I can totally play it without like feeling like, oh my gosh, this is so hard to go back to. Like I can just adapt.
Yeah,
I feel like it's not that hard. Like once you look at it for a bit, but yeah, that's the trick. 20 frames per second consistently is not as bad as say 22 frames per second. The consistent 20 is better than 22 or 25 within a 60 hertz container because you get what Digital Foundry would call uneven frame times. So in other words, it's so the whole concept of frame time is that, you know, if it's updating on the same in the same amount of time every cycle, it appears smoother. So if every 2 refreshes is a new frame, then it appears relatively smooth.
He has one
if
job.
every 3 frames is a
Mega Man.
is a refresh, it appears relatively smooth. It's consistent.
Ooh, look at
but
this.
if it's sometimes updating, you know, after, you know, 16 milliseconds, 1 frame, and 33 milliseconds, another frame. So that's why 20 is key.
That's cool looking enemy right there. I don't know. Maybe I can use the Y spear on it.
Oh, I mean, sure, the game dips, but I mean, you know, it's targeting 20. I'm just saying 20 is good, but it's pulled off. But I can, you know, I can still deal with dips below that. I mean, I grew up, you know, I say grew up, I mean, you know, N64 was my main console of my, you know, late middle school and through most of high school. So, I mean, it was extremely foundational for me, and it's not very hard for me to get back to, and just accept that, you know, how those games are. Now, there's games like Banjo-Tooie, which that was pretty rough in Banjo-Tooie. To be fair, Perfect Dark is pretty similarly bad.
There was a tweet yesterday that said if you can tell a difference between 30 frames per second and 60 frames per second, then you are a nerd in the derogatory sense.
I saw John comment on that. Yeah, it's like there are times where I don't think about it because the game just, you know,
you get used to it.
Depending on the type of game, or if it's really slow, if it's a relatively slow game, like I just might not think about it, right?
Yeah.
But but like, you know, in certain things like a side scroller, like it should be immediately noticeable. But hey, here's what I'll say. Like I have yet to be sold on 120 hertz being some revelatory thing over 60.
This will make stick,
which is apparently which would be shocking to some people. But I'm just like, oh, I guess it's okay. The thing that's interesting to me about it is black frame insertion looks a lot nicer on 120 hertz compared to 60 hertz. But whereas I would almost always take a graphical downgrade to get 60 FPS instead of 30 FPS, I think it would be rare that I would accept a graphical downgrade to go from 60 to 120.
I pretty much I always put it on performance mode, like if there's an option now. Mm-hmm. Like, without even thinking about it.
Part of it too is like I don't really 120 hertz is a pain in the butt to use in my current setup. Mm-hmm. You know, I can't capture it. I mean, I could technically if I was using 1080p, but I can't capture 4K 120. And I can't run it. I can't use it while running through my current AV receiver. So I don't use it that much when I even if I, you know, have a game that supports it. I'm more interested, I guess, for like 2D style games over like 3D, or at least, you know, I guess, you know, something like, I don't know if that like Froggen game, I could see it supporting 120 hertz on the PS5 version, which is the version I ordered from Limited Run. Like, that would be really cool. Like a visually simple 3D game in 120 hertz.
Did you get
cool.
You got the Switch version of that?
No, I got the PS5 version.
Yeah, same here. I mean, we're kind of in the same boat where it's like if there's a PS5 version, like you're just gonna get that for most. Unless it seems like there's gonna like no chance of it having problems on something else.
Yeah, and especially because, you know, even though I say I'm not like super sold on 120 hertz yet, like if it's a possibility that the PS5 version might have that feature, it would be worth having for future proofing for sure. But also, like, I feel like that Froggen game, I'm pretty sure it's going for more of a PS1 instead of N64 aesthetic, so that's why I thought I'd rather have it on PlayStation than Switch.
Mm-hmm. Did you get the Eastbound game or Eastward? Sorry.
I did. I got the Japanese version, I think.
Yeah, same here, but I popped it in for like a little bit the other day, and like I was immediately like enraptured in like the music for the opening. Yeah. And it's like, oh, this would be like what I'm playing right now is I just like started playing Terminator Salvation. Or is it Terminator? Is it Terminator? No, it's not Terminator Salvation. It's Terminator Resistance. Terminator Salvation was the movie.
Yeah, the PS5 game.
Yeah. So I just like started playing that, but I was just thinking about like, oh, I should play Eastward like after that.
So you tried it and you feel kind of captivated by it.
Yeah.
I've not booted it.
This is not the correct thing to use on him. I'm going to use it anyways. I'm just using these things because I don't feel like.
Kurito says there's a weird contradiction between 60 FPS NES and slowdown. Did the NES do slowdown at 60 FPS? I believe the way it works is it is holding the frame until the next one is ready. Basically, I think. So it is technically dropping frames, but it's like, it's not skipping ahead. Like, the time itself literally slows down because something that would happen in the span of time, like it does, like, nowadays we get dropped frames. And I suspect this is mostly because of, like, online gaming coming into play. This became the new method where games would drop frames. If the next frame wasn't ready, it just would, you know, basically skip a frame. But the time, the underlying simulation is running at a consistent time. You know, it's not slowing down. You're just getting a missed frame. Whereas back then, you were going to get that next frame. Eventually.
One way or another.
You're going to get that next frame. It might take 2 cycles to get to it, but you're going to get that.
You're going to get
frame. You're going to get it. It's going to slow down time to get you that frame.
gotta use the fire on this guy now. Or is that Windman? Windman. Is it? I mean, the C flash, like, do special weapons get any more generic than that?
Then what?
Than the C flash?
I hate the, like, is that just like a freeze weapon?
It just like makes the screen flash a couple times.
She wants to know where the birthday girl is. I think she actually just came upstairs. Sandy, look, Corey's fighting Airman or Windman or whoever he is.
Window Man.
What? Wow.
Using another one. I just need to have at least 5, right?
Good fluff. Good fluff.
I even need it. Alright. You know if this one like has like a continue
birthday
point?
Twins with Madonna, she wanted you to know. Yep, she's gonna be 5. You're being lazy.
What is it that I use this? Is it Tomahawk? Silver Tomahawk, maybe?
Yeah, I don't remember the weaknesses of the weird ones.
Almost there. But I'm pretty sure this one has like I don't have to do this again.
A checkpoint after the boss rush? I think so. Mega Man 9, I know, does not.
Well, Mega Man 9 was pretty tough.
Yeah. They got back to the tougher roots. Oh, you don't got much fire.
Yeah.
So the reason we got the Japanese version of Eastward, I forget that. I think maybe we either didn't. I don't know. Did we not know about the U.S.?
Well, the U.S. version hadn't been announced yet.
Okay. I'm going to play the Wii all day for Sandy's birthday.
Are ya?
No.
You're like, no. No.
Unrelated to her birthday though, but I was thinking about stopping by and inquiring about prices at a local groomer though. Oh. Unrelated to her birthday though. It's just I was looking at their schedule and they're closed on Monday. So
I mean, we take Nelly to get groomed like every. I guess it's like 2.5 months now. I guess is what it's ending up being.
I mean, I don't want her to be trimmed up in any significant way, but like, there's maybe a few areas that could be trimmed. I mean, I've trimmed a little, but I'm just kind of curious if it would be because I was looking at this place and they have like really reasonable prices.
I mean, is there any like matting going on?
Oh well, only behind her ears, and I just cut those out when I have to. because Shelties have like really silky hair behind their ears. And it just, something about it just max up. I cut one out the other day, but I feel another somewhere that I probably need to cut. Because you just can't comb them out. Or, I mean, they're too painful at that point.
Like Nelly,
like I'm too much of a chicken to trim her nails myself.
Oh.
And like normally, like I have them do it. Well, what I had been doing, like there is, I guess, a lady that like actually like does a service of like trimming nails at home. And it was a reasonable enough price, but then it just like it got absolutely just way too much. And so like, you know, she doesn't go to the vet as often as she kind of needs her nails trimmed. So I was looking at the prices of this groomer and I was like, oh, like that seems really cheap for nails. But I wonder if they'll like just do nails for that price. Like I don't know. Like they would probably prefer that I have other things for them to do. But
I know that beat is like what you can use on the final form to beat it.
I honestly forget kind of what it does.
Because beat is like worthless other than that, right? Like, what is Dr. Wily's obsession with skulls? Like, why is it always got to be skulls and things?
No, I guess.
Is there like 3 forms of this? Like, I know when I destroy this thing, there's gonna be something else.
Some games, like the last form, is a completely separate level. Like 2. I think 3 might do that too. I guess you're going for it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have enough of anything.
Well, that looks quite effective.
Yeah,
you don't have a lot of weapons.
I had 2 shots of it. I mean, I got enough of these things to go. I'm just gonna. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be like another form on its own level.
Don't cut it too close. Have you beaten this one before?
Yeah. Okay.
Have you
so
completed
here
it?
is where it's like the beat. Pretty sure. Maybe. Maybe not. Is it beat that I gotta use here?
I don't remember how he works in this game, honestly.
I can't.
Carlos Shine says that happens to Mega Man 5, not 6. Was beat in 5? Andy, don't lick my chair. Don't lick my chair.
Beat is like does nothing.
Isn't he just supposed to pick you out of pits? I couldn't remember if that was 5 or 6.
But why would you have to equip them though?
If you were going over a difficult pit, then you equip them, and that his counter just counts down, I guess, right?
Beat does not work with a charge
Beat
shot.
works with charge shot.
But he's not. I'm not. It's not. It's not doing anything. He's not doing anything. He blocks bullets.
Well, I guess you're just gonna have to make a buster. I bet his weakness is fire, because a lot of the final form Wily's the lowest range weapon is his weakness. Oh, Cloud FF7 says Tomahawk, but I mean you've used up most of your weapons by now anyway.
Yeah.
Dustin Kramer wants to know if you tried punching his butt.
Oh, that was the first thing I tried.
You're probably just overthinking it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that hard, really.
No. It's 7 that's so brutal for the capsule form. Like, that is just, like, ridiculous.
Is that going to be it? That's probably it. I mean, that's like kind of... There it is.
So do you already have this game marked as complete on your backloggery?
I don't know if I have it marked complete, but I have it marked beat, I think. I'm pretty sure that I do. Because I have beat it before. Not on the cartridge. I beat it on the collection. The anniversary collection. The Capcom Times.
Dr. Wily be Rene on. That's the best I've got for that font. Ah, 999 from Sean Quinn. Thank you.
Thank you.
As always. You guys don't seem to type, but I'll ask. Have you guys ever thrown or otherwise broken a controller after being frustrated with a game?
Yeah, oh, for sure.
One time.
Yeah, I have several times, but so you broke your controller, right?
It did not break.
Okay.
But I threw it really hard.
Wait, did you throw it with the intention of breaking it?
I threw it with the not caring if it broke or not. You
didn't want to just break it just to see how it felt. To break the controller.
Well, it was my Logitech wireless PS2 controller, and it was the final boss in Rogue Galaxy, which I've often said that I've yet to fall in love with a level 5 game that wasn't another company's game design. The two, well, I mean Dragon Quest 9 is pretty good too, but I mean Dragon Quest 8 and Professor Layton versus Ace Attorney are probably the level 5 games I like the most. But those are using Yuji Horii and Capcom's Shu Takumi's game design. Like, there are games like Rogue Galaxy. Like, I need to give Dark Cloud 2 another try. I'm going to give Dark Cloud 2 another try someday. But, like, something about their game design just never resonates with me. I mean, we talked not that long ago how Ni no Kuni has, like, I think maybe the worst JRPG battle system I've ever experienced in my life. Oh yeah, there's Jeanne d'Arc. I do want to play that. I have.
Yeah, it's good.
I bought that off of Jimmy Hopper. That one I think I'll like. I think I'll like it.
That's good.
I think I'll like it.
When I have when I've broken a controller, like the one that I'm sure that like I threw controllers down on the ground like a lot, like as I was growing up, but like then I hit a point where I just like didn't get frustrated at all. And I think the only thing, like I get frustrated now every once in a while because if I'm just trying to make forward progress, I guess. Like now I don't get as frustrated because like if I get stuck on something, like life is too short to like not knock it down a difficulty level if you need to. But I remember like specifically like F-Zero GX, the story mode is like so difficult. And that was like, I remember having my GameCube controller and then like twisting it, trying to break it, and then I just started hitting with like the palm of my hand. I started hitting like one of the handles on it, trying to like get it to snap off, and it didn't. But there was like definitely something like moving around inside it.
What game was this?
F-Zero GX.
Oh, right.
The story mode. The story mode is like brutally difficult.
Oh yeah, even like on the easiest difficulty. But
yeah.
For Rogue Galaxy, what annoyed me about it so much was
I'm running the bathroom while you tell your story.
The final boss is like super long. Like there's so many phases to it. It's like probably like between 45 minutes and an hour long. Like getting through all of the phases of the final battle after the last checkpoint. At the very last part of the very last bit, there is an attack that just comes out of nowhere. And if you don't block it like perfectly, you're toast. You're done. It's over. You have to do all 45, 50, 60 minutes, however long it takes, all over again. I don't remember if the cutscenes were skippable or not. And I was just completely blindsided by the first time. I'm like, I do not understand why I died. I don't understand how I could have dodged this attack. And up to that point, the game didn't really punish you for not using blocking correctly. It was not really a necessary mechanic. But it eventually turned out, as far as I could tell, to be the only way out of it. So I did again. I thought, well, I'll dodge it this time. I'll see another way out of it. And then it was the exact same thing. Like all of a sudden, there's just this big flash attack. And I'm just like, there is no way. I was just so mad. I was just like, I felt like I had wasted another hour and learned nothing. And I just went, and I threw the controller on the ground, and it just like bounced and boomeranged like probably 4 or 5 yards like to the right. And it didn't break it, but I was so mad. I was so mad because I felt like the exact same thing happened and I didn't learn a thing. And it was late too. It was like, like probably like 1:30 or 2 o'clock or something. And I was just so mad. And I realized I wasn't gonna be able to do another run of it that night. And like when I like stepped back from it, I kind of thought maybe I'm supposed to block that. Like I knew there was a block mechanic, but the game didn't incentivize you to use it. So yeah, I got up to that the next morning. I went into it with a clear head, and I did get through it by blocking. But I was just so that's a big annoyance of mine when games require you to do something at the very end of the game that either is a new mechanic that is unlike any other way that the game played up to the final battle, or requires you to use a mechanic that the game didn't punish you for not using properly before. Like if a game is going to require you to use a technique, it needs to punish you earlier in the game for not learning to use that technique. It needs to incentivize you to learn to do it.
Does anybody want me to play PS2 or do you want me to play Steam Deck?
I don't know. Let's see what people say. In the meantime, there was a 100 pesos donation from Carito 1981. Thank you so much. Saying never played this game, but it was cool seeing classic Mega Man. It's always a good day when you're playing some classic Mega Man, really.
All right. A lot of people said PS2, so PS2 it is.
Yeah, well, why don't you load up something kind of random? You know, there were people earlier who were looking for some suggestions for things to put on their PS2 OPL. So
Opal. So I'd mentioned earlier we kind of got into, we were talking for a second about mini consoles. So I got an email from Sega saying like, "Oh, are you interested in us sending you a Genesis 2 mini?" And I was like, "Oh, like of course. Like that sounds fun to like either do a video or a stream." So I had this idea. I see that this Classic Gaming Quarterly is in the chat, and like he did this video recently on his Tandy computer, and I like he starts off kind of doing like an overview of it, and then he's like switches gears and does kind of like a mini read through of like advertisements for or like a not a brochure, but like people like stores like selling like the parts and stuff. And I really enjoyed the way that he like changed like formats for his show, like in the episode. So I thought about like for like if I wanted to do kind of a fun Genesis Mini 2 episode, it would be kind of like an ad lib, but not. And it would be like little like change formats throughout it. So I'm going to try to mess around with that. Like I'm going to start out with a kind of a scripted like overview and stuff, but then I might do like kind of a quick like unboxing where it's just like not scripted at all. And then maybe I'll do like a sit down, like first time playing some stuff. And then maybe have do like a quick little ad lib segment with somebody else, just like talking about like, oh, the top 3 cool things about it, like our things that we like about it.
Mm-hmm. Why not?
I mean, I just think it would be like not like it'd just be more laid back, but also doesn't just like here's the format for the next 30 minutes. Like it's just like,
well, you know, it's kind of like in some, I mean, shifting gears a little more sharply, I guess, but in some ways, that's kind of what I did with that OLED review episode,
right?
Where,
and also, like in our Mr. video,
was a different tone, and people, I thought people were going to say like, "Oh, it seemed like the second half was really phoned in." I felt like it would come across that way, but like I just because of the logistics of getting it done, there were some limitations in what I could do, and you know, everyone seemed to like how that episode came together, which I was surprised, which, you know, kind of makes you feel like, you know, it's okay to experiment a little bit more.
And just, and like, so I think that's what I'm going to do for it. And I'm not going to like let it stress me out and like try to make this like big grand video on it. Like, I don't have any real interest in doing that, but I just think it'd be fun to, you know, switch gears.
Oh, you should load up one of the E's ports, like E's 4 or 5, because I didn't even know about those ports until pretty recently.
4 or 5, or should you want me to do 3?
I've never seen any of those. I've never seen any of those on PS2, and also Sandy wants to go pee.
Okay. Let's do 5 since it's like not It's kind of a random one. But I think that that's what I'm going to do for that video. Like, I just think it would be fun to make that. No, they're not in English on here. They haven't been translated. I think I have this installed on here. I've never played it. Yeah, book 1 and 2 is a good one to start with. Yeah, Oath of Pagano is a great one to start with too. Eight is also a good one to start with. The drive-by install is just a I think it's a Western Digital Green. 1 terabyte. I don't know. Retro YPBPR has been a member for 24 months. Thank you. It says, why does the OPL menu look so different than mine? I mean, do you have 1.10 installed on yours? Maybe that could have something to do with it. I would love to remove the stupid generic artwork that's there.
Look,
I have no idea. I have no idea. I've never even tried it. So another thing.
If you were so good at pooping, you would have pooped after dinner instead of it. That's what we prefer, is it?
Another thing that I have, in an effort to push myself in new directions and into like out of my comfort zone, I told Troy about this, and said I signed up for an intro to improv class. It's like for 5 weeks, starting a week from Tuesday.
Oh yeah.
I have no idea what to expect. All I really want out of it is I want to like become a better presenter and also like a better like off the cuff speaker. So I'm just going. I know, yes, and I know. But I feel as though I need to really be, you know, quicker in conversations. So I have no idea how it's going to go. But we'll see. There he is. Look at Dogi, man. He's like, his head is gigantic.
The 3D geometry kind of makes me think of like a PSP game. Like it makes me think of like Ys 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't love that artwork style. But it's interesting to see this.
just want to see what the battle system is.
Did you see the notification that Retro YPBPR has been a member for exactly 2 years?
Yeah. And
I'm
I'm not sure why my
menu looks so different.
My menu looks
Did I see
different.
2 OPL launchers in your system, or was I seeing things?
I have different ones.
Okay, because I forget what version it was. When Gannyman helped set up mine, he left 2 different ones on there because he randomly loaded up, I think it was Klonoa 2. Instead, he ran into an issue on the newer version.
Yeah,
so
I mean, that's why I have like 1.10 and 0.93. Because certain Sega Ages games won't work either. On like some of the ones that I was like wanting to play. Unless, I mean, you can try different modes, but the information isn't always out there.
So that jump Adol does is like nuts.
I mean, it looks like the jump from, it's kind of.
I mean, it's like higher than Mario can jump.
Ain't no big thing to him though. He's just like, ooh. I mean, the sprites look nice.
I mean, they would look nicer if it was they were designed for 240p probably.
Yeah.
I'm curious how this compared. You know what would be the version of East 4? Is it based on the PC Engine or Super Nintendo?
It's the Super Nintendo one. The Mask of the Sun seems to be like the one that is the general, like, closer to like their vision.
But the PC Engine one's considered better, isn't it?
Of those original ones, I think so.
John really likes the PC Engine one.
Yeah. I don't know. This is good though. I'm gonna reset and play something else. Yeah, I mean, I have a bunch of different things on here. I found like a bundle of like every single app.
So how would you know if like a game works better on an older or newer version?
I mean, most of the time it just won't boot.
Yeah.
Like that's how it was with some of the like the Sega Ages stuff. Like certain ones.
As far as you know, it's not normally like it has like some sort of glitch. I mean, I haven't used mine a lot yet. I played a little. I recorded a little Dragon Quest VIII from it, and I did notice like the audio transitions, like in between like areas and in and out battle, wasn't perfectly smooth. Like that's something that always kind of worries me with like hard drive or SD or either solid state or hard drive based game loading for disk based games. I always worry, and to be fair, I don't have that much experience with it yet. But I'm always paranoid about the faster loading, like tripping up some aspect of
you can go into like the options for stuff. If you go to game settings, I think it's like maybe it's mode 1 is accurate read, and I think that slows it down.
See, that's what I would want. I am not interested. I mean, loading is so fast in these generations. Like loading didn't get bad until PS3. Like loading honestly is fine. It's not that bad on PS1 and PS2. It's not that bad.
No, but I mean, I think in a lot of cases you gotta you can look it up. And
I mean, even as a guy who was Nintendo only for so long. Like when I finally started playing PlayStation games, I was like, oh, actually, it's not that bad.
Mhm.
Like in terms of the loading, it's still not that bad. It's like, I mean, we're only now, like, it got so bad in PS3 generation and PS4 generation.
Okay, I see it. You're saying someone's saying OutRun 2006, but I have like the Japanese version of OutRun 2006, OutRun 2 SP is supposed to be like a better version of even that. So let's try that. I never tried it.
But I mean, you compare the load times on your average game on the PS3 or the PS4. PS1 and PS2 is like nothing in comparison. What is the longest loading time in a console game? That's a great question. John Linneman likes to do a thing sometimes where he'll play through like the first couple of levels of like Sonic the Hedgehog, and while like I think it was for actually, I actually just got Best Buy had some flash sale game stuff, and I got Alan Wake for Xbox, the remaster, and I got the PS5 version of The Ascent. Are you familiar with that?
What is it?
The Ascent. John did a video on it.
The Ascent.
It's kind of similar to like Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance or something, except it's like cyberpunk.
F50.
Seems pretty good.
Automatic transmission.
It's very, very, very impressive looking for like a very small indie game.
Mm-hmm.
OutRun mode.
But anyway, they were cheap. Best Buy flash sale. But like when John did his review of the game on Digital Foundry, and the Xbox One takes so long to run to load that he put, I think it was Sonic 2 in the corner during the load comparisons, and like I want to say he like beat Dr. Wily, or not Dr. Wily. He beat like the first Dr. Robotnik before the game loaded on Xbox One, if I remember correctly.
So if you notice here, did I turn off the music?
Brandon Smith just beat Alan Wake. I love that game. It's great.
What did I do here?
Come to think of it, I think that might be the only Remedy game that I've actually played through.
Yeah, the music
I guess you might also count. What was the spin-off Alan Wake game called? American Nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've beaten those, but I've never beaten a Max Payne game or Control or Quantum Break. But I like what I've tried of all of those games. I just have not like sat down to play through them. But I have enjoyed everything of Remedy's that I have at least tested out.
So you notice here, like the music doesn't seem to be working right now. I don't know.
Did you set on slow mode or whatever?
No, I mean I didn't do anything. Like I just used the default settings.
Is this a CD game?
No.
Checkpoint.
I was watching Joe's was watching Joe's latest games that push console hardware.
Did that come out today?
Yeah, I think it was today. I watched it while I was eating dinner, so I assume it was this week and not last week. But the last thing he showed, which I had no idea about this,
Are you gonna give up?
was I forget if it was Shenmue 1 or Shenmue 2. Well, one of the Shenmue games has an extra disc where like it has these scenes.
The passport. Oh, it has the stuff from like the Saturn game.
Well, it's got these like story recap segments or something where it's like the characters like talking about stuff, and they're like insanely highly detailed.
What fun!
like
It's not on the passport. Just it came with the first one.
I think it is. Okay. It's like they look like characters you'd see in like a PS3 game.
Huh.
Like they are insane looking. But they can't move other than their face. Like that's all that they can do.
Yeah.
Like
it's real time though?
It's real time, but it's extremely limited. It's just like all that happens is their faces move. like their bodies can't animate or anything, but like I think you can move the camera at least sometimes. But like they look absolutely insane for the Dreamcast. It's just that there's really nothing else that can go on, and it would never work that way in the game itself. But it's a very interesting tech demo essentially.
Checkpoint.
Oh yeah, the Cruis'n Blast on the Switch is fantastic. I got that day one, and streamed it that weekend, I believe it was. It is some good dumb fun for sure. Man, the reflections look great here.
Yeah, so this is like the Japanese version of 2006, and they were able to enhance it further from the American release.
Oh, so Cruis'n Blast is only $20 these days, or at least when it's on sale. That's a good deal. I mean, it's such a dumb game. I mean, it's hard to say even how much skill even plays into it. I feel
Not
like
a whole lot.
A lot of times, like winning the races, like it's like I feel like I didn't do anything different this time that I lost compared to when I won. But it's just so stupid. It's so stupid, and the colors are so cheerful and happy, and it's wonderful. And it's made by
the original people.
The original creator. What's his name? I'm drawing a blank on his name. Eugene Jarvis.
Yeah.
It's made by his company. He's the original creator of Cruis'n. However, the Wii Cruis'n game is quite bad, but I enjoyed streaming it. It was it was bad in a way that was fun to stream.
It's not going to download what I need it to. Failed to connect to the update server. Didn't used to do that. So there's like a way that you can like download defaults, and it will say like, oh, this game won't work without these settings.
Oh, really? Like it like reads it from a database?
Yeah, but it doesn't seem to be working right now.
No, yeah, there is a Wii one. It's just called Cruis'n. It's pretty rough, but amusingly so, perhaps. Also, there's Velocity on the Game Boy Advance, which Corey grabbed from me just because you saw it and it was cheap, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that was a thing. And it is bad. It is bad. Just straight up bad. There's no joy to be had. Like sometimes there's joy to be had in badness. There's no joy to be had in Cruising Velocity on the GBA.
I forgot it has progressive.
Yeah, that's right. Zane's dad is way into Cruising Wii. But speaking of 3D GBA games, though, one of the games on the games that push hardware limits episode was today was Asterix and Obelix XXL on GBA, which I did not know there was a GBA version of that. And it looks incredible. It looks amazing. It looks like
Automatic transmission.
it basically looks like something like Croc on the PS1.
Okay, so
Except
putting
it's
on the
the
accurate
GBA.
read like made it so that now the music works.
Also, I didn't know this is Sumo Digital. I saw that on the boot up screen. Did they do the console port or did they do the original game?
Magical sound shower.
You know, I don't know. They may have done the original. I have a little bit of a thing, and like when I talk about the OutRun Sega Ages 2500 version, about how like I for the longest time, you know, like I'd always choose Splash Wave, but I think that as I've gotten older, I think that Magical Sound Shower might be the best.
Ooh.
It just it fits the vibe of the game a lot better, I think. Where even though it's a fast racer, it's supposed to feel like relaxing, like you're just kind of going for a cruise.
So what did you do to get the music working?
I just set that to accurate reads, which is like all this means like it's like.
Can you like set that globally and like save it as the default?
Yeah, probably.
Because that's what I would like. Because I am not interested in taking advantage of, you know, increased speeds. But I am.
Well, it's not like I don't think that it's taking advantage. I mean, in some cases it might, but I don't feel like if the game works, like it's gonna work.
Yeah,
you know?
but I want it to be as accurate as possible. I'm not.
I mean, I bet
Well,
you, I bet you in most cases.
Well, the game worked, but the music didn't work. Or like I said, I was playing Dragon Quest VIII, and the music transitions sounded a little rough.
Okay,
So,
well, but what I'm saying is like most, like I don't think that it's gonna be like it's very possible that could just be like a problem with playing a game off the drive like that. Like it's just not. It's been in development for a long time, and it's really good. But I think that there's always going to be like occasionally going to be some issues like that. So even putting on accurate read might not even fix that.
Right,
I
but
know.
I mean, I want to minimize the likelihood of problems. You know, I mean, the frustrating thing would be like for a game that you're not familiar with, like you might not realize that it's, you know, doing something incorrectly, which, you know, would be, you know, not.
Yeah,
the
but
way
I mean
that
that's
would-
something like that goes for like literally anything, like any game on any format, unless you're playing the original disc.
Well, sure, but I mean,
and that could come down to like it might even be like a bad laser. It It could be happening in like on a system that's like the laser is.
Oh, I mean,
designed
yeah, I
to.
mean that's absolutely true as well. But I mean, you know, I guess my point is like I don't like the idea of accidentally showing something in a video that's like, oh, the game isn't supposed to behave this way. Well, maybe I didn't know it because I'm not as familiar with the game, you know?
Right.
But I'm looking forward to using my OPL more. And
So did he
more-
like put games on it for you, or did he? Or
Gettyman got things in a pretty good spot.
yeah, you put a terabyte in there.
I honestly forget what it was. Probably.
I mean, did he show you how to add more games to it if you wanted
I
to?
don't know how to do it myself just yet.
Okay.
But I do need to learn. You said you were working on it recently?
Yeah, I mean, I do it over my network.
Yeah. I'm not too interested in connecting it to my network.
Well, it's a pain in the butt, for one thing. Like, it took me a long time before I could finally get it to like work in the way that I wanted it to.
Well, I mean, I couldn't even realistically run
Are you gonna give up?
Ethernet cable to it anyway.
There was $4.99 from Clint.
Thank you.
Saying V-Rally 3 GBA is a good 3D racer in the perfect circle. Helps to get your TV zoom ratio correct for GBA player. It's always nice
Not
when a good
familiar
game
with that
offers like an extra feature like that.
I am definitely curious about 3D GBA games. I've not played a lot.
Oh, come on!
Was that the goal? That
Yeah.
wasn't just a checkpoint? Bummer.
That was
I
it.
don't think I've ever gotten to the goal in an OutRun game before.
Game over.
Dang it.
Oh.
Well, I'll randomly pick something else here, and then we'll call it.
An alleged 1 terabyte USB stick on Newegg? That does sound a little suspicious, but I guess it's possible. I have not really bought SD cards too much recently, so I don't really know what's around.
I mean, I got a 512 recently.
You should play Mr. Mosquito.
Mr. Mosquito? Do you have it? Do you have that?
No, it's kind of expensive.
Oh, is it? That's a CD.
Yeah. Last time I saw, I'm pretty sure it's like $50+ game.
Fresh Games.
Mr.
Fresh Games. I feel like Fresh Games is like an IDOS thing.
Let's see. Let's look at the sold listings on eBay.
Mr. Mosquito.
Mr. Mosquito.
The Yamada's Summer.
Oh my gosh! Have you ever seen the Japanese box art
Welcome to
for
the
it?
Home of the Yamada family.
I feel like I
It's
have.
summer.
It's kind of amazing.
Do you like summer?
It's just like
Summer
it's like a
drives
photograph of a
people
foot with a
crazy,
mosquito on it.
and that makes them commit terrible acts. Take the tiny, harmless mosquito, for example.
It's like
It doesn't have enough time to do much.
it's like not an
during
especially
its
like
precious
nice looking
short
foot
life.
either. It's just like a really
Yet with
average
one
looking
swipe, a human can
Oh yeah, so it is
snatch
IDOS.
such a
IDOS.
priceless life away without a second
Oh, but yeah,
thought.
the US version looks
I
like
am sure that you may already realize that you
it's at
are a
least
mosquito,
$60 these
the
days
insect
Wow.
that bites people
and more. The
and
Japanese
makes them
version is not
feel
too much
itchy.
though. Like it
The
looks
insect
very
that
Japanese,
creates a
so
trail of swollen bites.
I like that you hit start to start
As
the
a
game and it has this
mosquito,
like long
There is
narrative.
something that you
although it's
naturally
weird that it
have to
says
do.
published under license by IDOS.
You have
It
to
is.
I
suck
assume it's a
blood.
Japanese game though. Like it says the
You must
Yamada's
suck
Summer,
and
so like
It
storm
is.
away
Yes,
as much
they.
human blood
So
as possible
it was. They published it
in
under
order to
their fresh
survive the winter
games.
and see
Oh.
another spring.
You know, like
However,
label.
blood sucking
Yeah.
is accompanied with much danger.
It was this, and I think the another
may
one was like
come as a
Legaia,
surprise to you,
Legaia 2 Dual
But you're
Dual
not
Saga.
welcome
Oh, okay.
They had like
in
these
my
really
Developed
ugly
by-
like yellow box art.
Why on earth not?
it was developed by a
Because
company
you
called
make
Zoom
people feel
in
itchy.
Sapporo.
Bear in mind that they will go to great lengths to protect themselves from
This
you.
voice is still talking.
Nevertheless, please
About the
enjoy
mosquito.
your summer.
Like,
of
are you just
blood
on the
sucking.
title screen? Like,
Yeah, I hit start, and it's like this. There he is. It's like this long
I'm not too
monologue about
familiar with
mosquitoes.
most of their other games. Looks like they developed some versions of Phalanx. I didn't know there was a Mr. Mosquito 2.
Probably didn't come out in the US though, right?
This is Rena's room.
Move over, Dad. You're too close to me. It's so hot today.
The Yamada's Summer. Look at this. Like, I mean, the Yamada Summer is like getting terrorized by Mr. Mosquito.
I'm so
Mr. Mosquito.
I mean, I love playing a lot of like PS2 games on a CRT because I just feel like the 480i makes it look like super
Infinite
high
resolution.
resolution.
Yeah.
Like this game looks super high resolution. I gotta suck 2 tanks of blood.
2 tanks. Man, look at the way that the curtains move.
I wish there was something fun to do.
You just like bumped into her.
I'm trying to.
Is this like the largest scale that humans have ever been at in a video game
Maybe. Oh, can you?
relative to the player?
I turned on the
What?
stereo to
You've
distract
been
her.
spotted.
She's like, "What?"
Why? Why?
I don't know how to like
What?
attack her though.
Oh well.
How do you land?
I'm trying to figure that out now. Oh, here we go. Press R3 to pierce the skin.
Oh, that's a good use of the stick click.
Rotate the stick, the right analog to suck up blood. Try and keep the ball in the blue.
There was a $5 super chat from Alex Gavin. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh,
Saying, hey guys, if given the option, would you
I
rather do
remember this.
GameCube component on an era-appropriate consumer CRT or HDMI adapter set up on a 1080p monitor? I mean,
I've had enough. So she says.
an era-appropriate CRT,
Oh well.
would imply 480i, which would not be would not be my preferred way to play GameCube games. So I mean, I often do use a just like the Carby,
Good luck.
Killed
the
me.
Carby with the GameCube
I've had
on
enough.
my OLED, just because it's easy, but it's 480p. You know, it's not really properly upscaled. It's just 480p directly out to the TV, which, if I'm being lazy, I think is fine. I think it's totally fine.
I'm so tired.
But I mean, if you really want to look nice, I think it's better to run like component cables through a RetroTink 5X and upscale that to 1440p. Like, that's going to be the best look, I think. You know, in a weird way, I actually kind of almost like the look of GameCube on like a really high-end VGA monitor. If you like convert, say, a Carby or something like that to
I don't know what to do.
if you convert a Carby to like a HDMI lag-free HDMI to VGA, I kind of like that more than like component on the 20L5. And I can't really explain why.
Why? What's that?
Voltar's in the chat. He says, this game is incredibly perverted. I love it. Or is it the right sick of Alan? Keep them.
So do you have to like zoom? Like, you have to like do like a full on like zoom dash to like actually land, it looks like?
Yeah. I'm getting out of there before it's too late. I gotta get my tanks of blood. I've had enough. Apparently there's an EX tank on this level of blood, too.
I do not understand the mechanics of like these meters and things at all. Oh man. Now do you have to make your escape?
Yeah, I need to pull up my tanks here.
I thought, oh, it's not
How
full.
was it the first time? I hope you enjoyed your first blood suck.
The voice is just like this woman. She's so relaxed. She's like, I hope you enjoyed your first blood suck.
Wow. Have you ever played this before?
I feel like I've only played that first
Yeah,
mission
I feel
and
like
never
you,
actually
I feel
finished
like you record some for like the PS2 episode or something like a long time ago.
I don't know. Is it? I mean, it makes me want to like buy a copy, though. I'll tell you.
Voltar, this is for PS2, and the American version's like $60
This
or
is
more.
the Yamada
It's a bit of an expensive game.
Ow! I feel so itchy. That's odd because I had some bug repellent on.
Rub some aloe vera on it.
No way! It makes me feel sick.
Don't be so silly. Aloe works. Where are you bitten?
I'm skipping the cutscenes. Uh-oh. This doesn't look good. Whatever's happened here.
Oh, it's something
Look
on.
out for the poison in the air. Suck 2 tanks of blood.
Let's see. throw it away. Where did I put it? The good old days.
I'm not looking for. What can I do? Why is she yelling? Like a gas leak in here or something, or poison leak. Can I fly in here, I wonder? No. Oh, I can. Here we go.
I kind of want to get the Japanese version of this just because the box art is so funny.
Is the Japanese version cheaper?
Yeah, it's a lot cheaper. It was like on eBay, it was like $18.
Oh, okay.
But it's just a photograph of like a really normal looking foot with a mosquito on the pinky
Throw it
toe.
away. Where did I put it?
It actually looked like there was more copies of the Japanese version than the US version on eBay from just a casual glance.
Ooh. Oh, okay, her leg. I gotta land on her leg. Oh, she... I gotta attack all the relax points. When she spots me, I gotta, like, hit her in certain places. Ooh. Seems to be, like, right in her stomach there. Ooh! Oh! Ah! It's so intense.
Oh, you lost a heart.
What are you doing?
If you hit the relax point, his voice goes, relax.
So like you can stun them?
Well, you can relax them. You make it so they don't want to kill you anymore. That's like her forehead. All right, now, yeah, get some of that blood. Come on, Mrs. Yamada. Let me get some of that blood. Here we go.
I wonder what the final boss of this game is.
Probably the whole family. As long as I stay in the blue, she doesn't realize that.
I don't know why, but for some reason the sound effects in this game like
Remember,
come
always try to
over
keep things
Discord much
tidy.
more strongly than anything else you've played tonight.
The music. Uh-oh.
At last.
I feel like in Japan this was like kind of an early game on the system too.
I think it's really early, yeah. I mean, it looks like a Dreamcast game, basically, so it makes sense. Let me see.
We'll do one more level.
This is the living room. Kenichi, the mainstay of the Yamada family, is watching TV.
The mainstay?
Yeah, the mainstay.
finally found
The mainstay of the Yamada family. Whatever that means. It came out in June 2001.
Okay, so
Not the earliest, but
I bet I gotta get on his head. Be careful of the air current. Suck 3 tanks of blood. Yep, I gotta get his head.
do you think you can suck from his bald spot?
This isn't it.
Yes.
I'm bored.
Oh. Oh, I bet I get. I changed the channel on him. I turned the TV off.
I was just watching that.
I was just watching that.
But he's still staring at it? Oh, wait, no, he's getting up.
That's strange.
I turned it back on. All right, here we go.
This isn't it. I need some excitement.
Maybe you can't land on his head.
I'm gonna hit the phone. What's he got
Ooh,
on?
I wonder if you can see what kind of connections are on the back of the TV.
Oh, I might be able. It looks like I might be able to fly back there. Ooh, is that the EX tank back there? There's something right there.
Or was like a
Oh, there's a heart.
collectible?
I
Oh.
collected a heart. Collect 50 heart rings to increase your max lives.
Does this TV have no connections?
Doesn't look like it. Ooh, what's this up here?
No D terminal? Come on.
How do I hit?
I get the impression the controls are quite awkward.
A little bit.
How does he not notice you flying so close to his head?
I don't know. He's so small. I don't know where to.
Can you get on his arm?
Uh-oh. Oh.
Get lost.
He's now he's
Battle!
he's angry with me now. Relax.
Battle time. Oh, you've got a time limit of 50 seconds for the battle.
Oh, I didn't realize that there's a limit. It was his shoulder. Come on, I hit you already.
You're the lady hole.
Oh, jeez! He's trying to jump on me.
Which?
Why does it say time limit 50? But it's still going,
It's probably for like a bonus or something like that.
I guess.
I just want to start sucking his blood. Here we go. All right, I'm in.
Oh man, I'm the comb over. You're like right on the front hair of the comb over.
I like that you has like the camera on him. You can like kind of see the background a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like slightly out of focus.
What moray on his comb over?
He got me. Oh, he got me.
Oh man, that was insta death. You had 3 hearts.
Yep.
He just like smacked you just right on his head. Oh man.
Too bad.
Well,
When you
creation that game
quit the narrator voice, she just says, "Too bad."
I can't believe it's like midnight now.
Oh, is it? Yeah. You can unlock new colors though. It's cool. Like, I mean, that's Mr. Mosquito. What else? What else do you want?
What else do you need other than a video game called Mr. Mosquito?
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad that we play this. It was a
Cool decision.
But anyways, I think that's going to do it. Look for the Sega Ages episode this week at some point. People are not going to care very much, but it's something that I wanted to do.
That's all you need.
All that matters. Anyways, I hope everyone has a wonderful week. Thank you to everybody who donated tonight. And I hope everyone has a nice week. And that'll be that.
Yeah.
And we'll see everybody next weekend. All right?
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Take care.